Good evening. We're live on Greyhound Watchalong. No PL yet. I'm sure he'll be along in a minute. Probably getting his last minute bets on. Joined tonight by Sam, Hove Judge, Greyhound owner, and Simon, who I've been trying to get on for ages, the man who puts the fun into non-fungible token. The Welsh wizard and king of NFT, Simon. So, welcome, gents. Nice to have some new guests on.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, cheers, Tom. Nice to be here.
Absolute pleasure. No, thanks for joining us, especially on a Saturday. Nice day there, isn't it?
Yeah,
beautiful.
Fortunately it isn't showing up on the camera, but my head is a bit burnt from being at the beach today. It fortunately isn't shining, so we're all right.
Thank you for holding it together long enough to get here. Interesting card tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, I found it tough, but there's plenty of good dogs out there, so it should be a good evening.
Yeah, I think the sprint is particularly interesting because there's a lot of dogs in it. Although they have an early pace in the 4-bend races, a lot of them I wouldn't put down as sprinters.
Yeah, no, I agree. If I'm quite honest, knew the sprint was coming up, but the entries for it was not expecting the caliber of dog it's got, if I'm quite honest.
Yeah. Any naps for tonight?
I've had 3 bets. I've Sign It Denver, Sing Along Sally, and Swift Woof.
And what about you, Simon?
Well, I match up with Sam on one of them on Swift Wolf. I think nice price, has every chance of getting round leading, as we know at Toaster. That's pretty key. I've also backed Cape Cloud 4-1.
Tricky race, that one.
It is, but I'm going off eye by last week being at the track, watching how fast Cape Cloud came out of those traps was just lightning. So I thought the price was too big, 4-1. If it cuts off Sign It Ace straight away, then we'll lead the inside and then catch me if you can. So
yeah, absolutely. First race up here. Can we get Havana Class beaten? I think we can.
I think we can, but I'm not brave enough to say with what.
So Havana Class is a bad starter. Very, very pacey to the first bend, but a very, very bad starter. Whereas Drum Duel in 2 is a very good starter. So I think has a decent chance of getting ahead, even though Havana Class is about a dog. Elite Dan, I think, is pretty well drawn in 3. Has a potential to ping. I think there's a few that could turn Havana Class over. So it's rare for us to lay a dog on Watchalong, but I'd rather be laying them backing at this price.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Agreed. Yeah,
it's
too short.
The 5 probably isn't the class of these, but it is extremely fast. I think 16:20. I think it was at Central Park, which is absolutely flying.
Yep. Right. Let's have a look. Wave of the flag. Away and racing. Ballymac slap up with a ping break. Havana Class going up on the inside. Early night round on the outside. But as they turn the first bend, Ballymac slap up leads by a length. Havana Class right on his tail. But Ballymac slap up is going to hold on and does so. The lay lands. A win for the good guys.
Oi. Well then, Tom, good start for you.
Very good start.
I'll be honest, I fancied Havana Class there, but just mainly on form.
Yeah,
the amount of finals it's been in the Sovereign Stakes, runner up there. Lost to Shoot Core by half a length. Northampton's your sprint finalist as well. Previous track record holder. I'm not sure if that's still the track record holder of the sprint.
I think it is still the track record from last year. Yeah.
So I fancied it, Havana Class last night, but then you see the prices go up this morning, and you're getting 4-6. It's not even worth thinking about those kind of prices.
It just doesn't seem to be quite coming out as he was last year. Central Park has been able to get away with it in the sprints because it's pretty much the sprint boxes are on the second bend. So you've got the whole straight. He's put lengths pulled lengths going into the bend, but not so to be tonight at Toaster.
No, I knew there were some ways to get it beat. I must say, I did not fancy Slap Up at all. Slap Up sectionals around Toaster were appalling over the 4 bends, so I didn't see that coming. But there you go, that's Greyhound racing. PL, I've had to do a commentary. It's the Derby quarter-finals. The viewers don't deserve this.
Yeah.
Welcome.
What happened was, because I'd had so much aggro with my laptop in the past, I cleared a lot of my stuff, hoping it'd work. Of course, then I didn't have the password. It cleared my email for the link to get to this. I just finished Doncaster. I rounded off with a 14-1 winner. I did a Barry Cole in the last.
Oh, well done. Should have come on early, shared it with the lads.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I should have done. Yeah.
But no, we laid Havana Class only small, but got it beaten.
Yeah. I bet 2 and 3 actually, and went to click on laying it to get my money back, and it suspended on me. All rush. The thing is, like you would say, Tom, as well. You always rely on a good woman. She's gone to York today, so I'm flying around. I've got Toby barking. He wants to come in. You'll have to wait. All right.
Fending for yourself.
Yeah. Hi lads, sorry we went, Matt.
Evening.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Yeah, good. Good. Yeah, looking forward to it tonight. Really good card.
Yeah, we were just before that race went off. We were talking about our naps. What's yours, PL?
Probably Sing Along Sally.
The more I looked at replays of Sing Along Sally's race, the more impressed I was with her last week.
Yeah.
Just incredibly brave going around the bend.
And she's just such a good competition dog as well. That's the thing. She's just so consistent. As you say, really brave. And I think she's got a good racing brain. I think that kind of counts as well, as when things go wrong, she always seems to get herself into the right position.
Is that Jim Tate on the TV?
It is, yeah.
Why has he got a security armband on? Isn't he the photographer?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's he taking photos of? Why has he got an armband on?
Obviously he's not Hobbs. He's not taking photos of Hobbs' hairstyle. So.
Oh, it does look nice there tonight. I would like to be there tonight, having a beer on the terrace.
Yeah. Are you going to?
It's a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Yeah. I spoke to Tricky earlier on. He said, "You going today?" And I said, "No." I said, "Probably the fight. Hopefully, we'll go to the final. We go to the final, Tom."
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because obviously you're helping with the baby, aren't you? So
we'll
you're one of these new men, aren't you? These
modern man. Yeah. So PL text me about something earlier, something betting related, and I had to send him a photo of me with the baby because I couldn't leave the chair. Not being in prison, held hostage by a tiny human of your own making.
Yeah, it'll only get better. That's all. That's what you got to think.
Tiny terrorist.
Yeah, you've
any
got
other
to
good
past that, Tom?
Yeah. Any other good bets on the card?
I've got opinions in most races, really. Most of them, some smaller than others, but sometimes. I mean, I don't mind betting 2 in a race sometimes, and I think Flashing Willow a win, but I see Eddie Goodall said about the shorter run to the bend, which could catch him out, but he's a fast dog. I was quite taken with Call of Annie Galliv at Sheffield. I thought. I know Sheffield's not Toaster, but he broke the clock. And actually, I owned a dog with a group of lads called Brogan T-Bone that held the clock at Sheffield for quite a while. And Call of Annie Galliv broke it. I think he broke it by a couple of 3 spots, and then he did sort of 2 spots later, a couple of weeks later. So it wasn't like it was a fluke or anything like that. So it's obviously a fast dog.
Oh, the dog, he's absolutely rapid. I know as a pup, it seemed to be his issue was a straight line. He was rapid. He'd get to a bend and he'd just forget the bend where he was so quick into her.
He kind of did that at Monmore a bit, Sam, didn't he?
Yeah.
When he was in poo, he kind of let Crossfield Dusty get up inside him.
Yeah, he's one of those that if you bet him, he breaks and you think wonderful, and you're just praying that the indicator goes on at the bend, because he does sometimes let a dog up inside him, and then you're praying that when they straighten back up that he'll put on the jets again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought for this race, myself and Sam have both got a share in Scarlet O'Mara in trap 5, so we're just going to be getting the prayer mat out, I think. But like Newtown Sydney, excellent trial, beat Crossfield Dusty fair and square from what I could see in the trial. There was no stumble or anything that I could see. You got Brookside Ritchie. We know all about Brookside Ritchie inside, absolutely rapid again, but not a sprinter. But we'll see if that early pace translates around that short bend at Toaster. Not to see Gem is a Toaster local, loves trap 1 there, if not quite at the same level as 2, 3, 4. As you said, Willow is I think an absolute monster. If you look at the times, the Limerick splits weren't great, but the Dundalk split was exceptional. The Tralee times are special. Did the track record actually.
Yeah.
I can't see past the 6 personally, but
shocking trial for the caliber of dog.
Yeah,
the fact
apparently though, Tom. Yeah. Apparently, bearing in mind, obviously, I talked to Pat quite a lot. To be fair, maybe I don't know why, but he's invited us a couple of times when we went down to the kennels, and he said that where the trial, the hair went really short because the dog was going so fast, so that made him go wide.
Right. Okay.
So, I mean,
What's this price about? What's this price about?
I don't know. I do agree with Eddie Goodall because it's not a massive run to the bend, is it? That's the thing. It's not an enormous run to the bend, but he's capable of breaking. And Pat switched him from middle to a wide, and he seems to start better from the 6 box. So he's a really, really quick dog. Yeah, really quick dog.
Yeah, I think the freeze interesting. Just
I agree.
Trials
beating Crossfield Dusty in a trial.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to have clicked in the race yet, because you look at those trials and then you see he's been doing 380 odds to the split marker at Romford. It just doesn't quite add up. Yeah,
he's been beaten by my dog Corten Steel twice, and Corten Steel is a average A1 dog.
Yeah.
So to be in this sort of company, Brookside Ritchie is an absolute weapon of a dog.
Yeah, its run at Newcastle the other week was impressive.
Yeah.
It looked like it had absolutely
28-24.
Yeah, it looked like it lashed it down before the race as well.
Yeah.
And there's obviously been people questioning not going for the Derby. Does it stay a full 4 bends? It hasn't done it for a while, but it put that to bed very quickly.
What the hell is this price on Flashing Willow about? I didn't think this would be 2-1 at any point.
Someone's trying to get him.
This is an evens money shot.
And there's money for Brookside Ritchie now as well.
There is, yeah.
I must admit, I don't really see him as a 2-bend sprinter. He's got nice early 4 bends, but I don't really. And the other thing is, not to see Gem definitely edges off from Red. Definitely edges off.
Yeah.
Now, whether he can start and cause a problem for Ritchie, I'm not so sure. But it's a slight negative for me. I just think that Flashing Willow is the ultimate 2-bend dog here, along with probably Cordovani Gallop. So they would. I mean, obviously they're the front 2 in the market. Well, Brookside Ritchie's disputing second favouritism, but yeah, don't know. I mean, your fella's got it all to do, because he's not really the greatest of breakers, and he's kind of probably moving to lane 3.
Yeah, he's picks and chooses when he wants to start. Seem to find when he switches and tracks, he ends up going bang. Like he went to Sheffield his first look
really want 5.
and did 1575 because he just went bang. But you get him at a track for 2 or 3 runs, and he seems to dwell in the tins a bit. But yeah, would be ecstatic for him to make the top 3 tonight and get through for next week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's got gears. He's a dog I really like, actually. And I bet him a few times around for Tom and I. So.
Yeah. Oh, we like Scarlet O'Meara. I think Scarlet O'Meara is a great dog.
Yeah.
Lots of people agree. Keep betting the 6. It's a 1 to 2 shot. This is a good one for Craig Day. This may look palpable.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. He wants us to get. People are properly OCD, so we've got 46960. Wants us to get rid of the 960, but then we lose the 69. So
difficult.
Keep it there for comedy value.
Yeah. There we go. We're fully matched.
I think the price is more what I was hoping to see when I woke up this morning.
Yeah.
I think it's very backable at 2s.
Yeah. I agree. Is it people reading the card? Is it card readers looking at going, it's not a great time? If you're just looking at the card, you go Flashing Willow 1592, Newtown Sydney 1566.
On the same session, wasn't it?
Yeah. In a sprint, and that's kind of the danger of this.
Yeah.
But should we have more on?
Well, unfortunately, Tom, I have had more on while we're speaking. So
have you?
Yeah, not on our account, but
it's 3.15 now.
It's madness.
If I'm having a match race between 4 and 6, I'd be all over the 6 all day.
Yeah, I certainly didn't expect them to be this close in price.
No, and again, I did regard Call of Annie Galvin. I think he was 5 to 1, wasn't he, on the early? So
yeah.
Something
he
like
was
that.
there for a long while as well. So
responsible gambling advice, as always, from everyone. Dylan Fitzsimmons, have more on.
Yeah. But to be fair, as much as it is responsible gambling, we are. If it is a bigger price, you should have more on. So it's not like you're betting irresponsibly.
No,
it's
I
just
agree.
the correct way of gambling, as you could demonstrate on one of your tutorials, Tom, maybe.
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to do. We've agreed with Matt to do a little video series on how to bet greyhounds. We'll start at the very, very beginning with it, of kind of how to read a card, etc., and then get into a bit more detail of how to do videos and stuff like that. So it should be quite good.
Yeah, it's a good idea, I think, Tom, because when you first start punting greyhounds, you've not really got a clue what you're doing.
No.
Some would argue some of us still haven't now, but
no, I think you're right. That's a good point, really. Yeah, because I think even when you start punting, even when you're raw, you always try to pick up stuff from people that you believe has got a bit of a clue, and that helps you along your way. And then you develop your own style. But I always say I never stop learning. I think in this day and age, you have to adapt, and you have to keep changing the way that you bet and the way you think about races. So yes, it's a good. Actually, it'd be a good thing to do, Tom, and you having that sort of professional experience in doing that sort of thing as well. It'd be good, because I don't think anyone else has really done it.
Not gambling, for the record. Okay, right. Well, we've either made a wonderful decision or a terrible one, and we will very shortly see.
Even the correct decisions have the wrong result every now and then.
Yeah, that's
well said.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. That's great. It's true. Because the traps have still got to open here, and it is toaster. I always say that.
There we go.
Yeah, Heat 2 then. The Racing Post Greyhound TV Notebook Watling Street Sprint Trophy. First 3 qualify for the semi-finals. And they're away and racing, and Flashing out on the outside is Flashing Willow, and he's roaring into the turn. He's making these look very, very ordinary indeed. And Flashing Willow has taken off and gone well clear. In second spot is Knock to See Gem. Third is Scarlet O'Meara, who will qualify for the lads. Hurrah!
Well done, boys. That's how it's done, boys. That is how it's done.
Dear. And that's now where you go, we ain't had enough on.
Should have had another 100 on.
Yeah.
We've had 100 on. We should have had 200. I feel sick we didn't.
It's
Well,
ridiculous because I backed him at 4-1 to win the comp, but he was 2-1 to win the first. The plot draw, by the way.
No.
My
The
goodness.
ti-
Ben Green has an erection when that trapped. Yeah.
Yeah.
That time is going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it is. O'Meara's won well.
15:42. Someone's saying in the chat. I think was
15:42.
the clock 15:45. I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So
Wow.
impressive.
Not
Wow.
a bad introduction, after a very wide comment.
Aeroplane.
That's why
Track record.
that emphasises the point that comments on a race card aren't all that.
100%.
You shouldn't take them as they are
100%.
and take them with a pinch of salt. Like Paul's comment there, what Pat was saying, it's completely changed the style of that trial. So
Yeah,
if you look at the videos of what he's done,
she said to me, Simon, he said, go and watch the video, he said of that. He said, because I think the hair was so short, that was what made him go wide, because he was going so quick. And then I clicked and there wasn't.
I'm glad you were there to give us that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you got
the video,
that.
so I couldn't
Look
see
at
it.
this. This is an early profit. I don't think we've ever had an early profit on here. I've got to say, when I win early, I become a bad gambler because it feels like you're not betting with real money, and
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
always make a stupid decision in the next race, and I've got to get that discipline of right. We stick to.
Hope
to
Daniel
weight
and his
and
horse
that.
racing guys are watching now, Tom, because we're on a roll, baby.
They had a horse racing version of this on Matchbook last night, and they weren't betting to our kind of stakes, big boy stakes.
Actually, they started with £1,000 bank as well, so
They did.
they're obviously high rollers, but didn't really go for it like we do.
No, you've got to consider burning through
Because
it.
obviously they don't.
You
got the same
don't
sort of strong
responsible.
opinion as me and you, Tom. Do you know what I mean?
maybe they had a bit of discipline, Tom.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
could be it.
Yeah, but hey, Tom, you're here for the entertainment. So
We
know.
we are. Ben's
So.
very happy. Time for the pub. Charge on and get the money. Yeah. That was the wrong price. That was simply the wrong price.
absolutely.
And you look back. Here's the form card. Oh, that way. That's all it says. If you're in the stadium today and you pick up that form card, you'll see Flashing Willow, 1592, and you'll think that dog has got no chance of winning this race. And that is why you go back and you open up their form and you look at their Irish form and you see this is one of the top sprinting dogs in the whole of Ireland against dogs that are generally full bend dogs rather than sprinters. Anyway, that's enough after timing for one race. We can talk about the next one. As you can see, I'm to help our viewers on Watchback. I've got the time of the next race coming up. Little treat for everyone. Bit more work for me, but just a hero like that. Alan Southern, regular. Hello, evening lads. Looking forward to some unbelievable racing tonight, indeed. And responsible betting we're talking about. This is not responsible drinking. Amstel Moretti with a Jura Tracer. What's everyone else drinking? Quite a cocktail, that.
I've decided to go for a couple of IPAs, and then we'll move on to the hard stuff a bit later on, I think. a nod to Burrawati. I've bought a whiskey, and we'll see how it goes.
He does like a bit of a whiskey, doesn't he, old Burrawati?
I don't think whiskey tastes very nice. It's just,
I agree.
I don't know how you get into whiskey because no one's had their first taste of a whiskey and gone, oh, that's delicious.
No, agreed. I'm not a massive fan, but I thought I'm going to buy a nice bottle and just hope it takes me to the next level of whiskey appreciation. We'll see.
I'm going to have responsible Barifico Angelo Peretti, which is my new favourite beer.
Good choice.
Wasn't your comment, Si, that you're going to try and drink double what Borawati did on the show?
You die.
Well, I heard the word responsible drinking, responsible gambling. I don't know if I'm there. I'll give it a go.
It looks a decent crowd there tonight, actually.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it was pretty good last week, to be honest. Pretty
Who's
full.
this chap been interviewed?
I'm not sure.
Both ears pierced. Any of you got any piercings? No, I don't want to know. We'll move on from.
No, I don't know who it is either, to be honest.
No.
Somebody in the comments may have a better idea.
Could be. I don't know. No, I don't know. Presumably not an owner of Flushing Willow. Someone will tell us. Right. As I'll just do a quick thing on. I've been doing first bend sectionals, which is an exciting way to spend my evenings. But I'll give you an example here of what I've done with them. So I basically use video editing software to time dogs from the moment the lids rise to a point on the first bend. because I just thought it was interesting. So if you go on Greyhound Watchalong Twitter, all the first bend times for all the Derby runners are on there. Now, on their own, they don't tell you an awful lot, but when you combine them with the first bend with the sectional times, you can see what dogs pinged out well and led to that point, and then what's ahead at the first bend. But what I found particularly interesting is that so many of the dogs hit the first bend at the same time.
Yeah.
That just being 1/100th of a second quicker to the first bend than the others is the difference between winning and losing the races at Toaster. And the sectionals differ quite significantly. You know, you go from 4:09 to 4:29, but by the time you get to the first bend, you're 6:10 and 6:17. They all bunch up at the first bend, almost regardless of who's got early pace, more of a staying dog. And I guess that's related to the length of the straight. So it's flagged a couple. It's Flabway, we'll come on to it, Ballinbollow Head is just a sure thing tonight, because he's got the perfect balance of that fastest sectional being clear at the first bend and obviously being the fastest dog in the race. But yeah, all those first bend times are up on our Twitter if anyone wants to have a look at them and see what you can do with them.
Well, they're really interesting, but the first thing that comes into my mind is that it might also explain the supposed trap 6 hoodoo at Toaster. If everything's arriving at the bend together, hey, the dog out wide's going to be probably
100%, Sam. Yeah. And from doing the videos, being in 2 rather than 1, if you get into the bend at the same time, the dogs that get a bump to the right, they lose lengths and lengths and lengths as they go around that bend. It stops your momentum on a bend that very quickly comes and turns left.
Yeah, the bend, the way the dogs go round the bend, it reminds me a bit of Newcastle, that there is a bit of a domino effect, that if you are level out wide and you take that bump, that probably those are the 2 tracks that jump out to me that you're kind of worst off taking that bump at the bend. You lose more than at other tracks.
Yeah. A guy messaged me in the week, and he'd been, because I put up my workflow for how I do it, in case anyone's interested. It's on my personal Twitter at tfrancis20, where I showed how I do the timing from the traps rising to the end, and someone had done similar. And their view was that the 6 box opens 1/100th of a second slower than trap 1. Now you can't really tell because of the angle, because it's going to kind of favour 1 because you can kind of see it more of an angle. But Canberra, the track and everything, it could be. And the traps, vary in how quickly they open by 100th of a second as well. And that 100th of a second at this first bend makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And people say, it's a bit roulette, the traps at Toaster. And I think it's a combination of both those things. The traps opening at a consistent speed and or one side or the other because of the angle, and how quick dogs get to the bend.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree, Tom. Yeah.
Not a discussion for the casual viewer, that, but see, we've not lost. In fact, we've gained 2 viewers. Sometimes we discuss something on here. I had a lengthy monologue about my favourite motorway service station one Friday, and it was about 10 minutes long, and lost a fair few viewers. I thought it was hilarious at the time. Watched it back in the car. I was really embarrassed by it. We move on.
There's a comment there from Alan Southern as well. He much prefers Jack Daniels with 1 block of ice. And I used to play, when I lived in Essex, I used to play poker every Tuesday and Sunday, actually. And the landlord, he used to have, towards the end of the night, after the beer, like Simon just said, he has a short late in the day, he used to have brandy, but he had to have 4 blocks of ice in it.
Wow.
Oh, dear.
6:35 at Toaster. Can we get a Crossfield Dusty beat?
I want to say yes from 6.
I tried as well.
I think 4 looks a massive price, whether to win or to place. I'd have had that second favourite over Mason.
I took my car in for a service this morning. This is going somewhere. And it was a 3-hour wait. So I went to a local Frankie and Benny's and sat in Frankie and Benny's for 3 hours doing the card. I spent about 45 minutes on this race trying to get Crossfield Dusty beat. And I think the only way Crossfield Dusty is beaten is if it beats itself, because there isn't really anything in the race that's obvious to take it on with.
No, he's normally a good breaker as well, isn't he? That's the thing. And I know you're saying we keep looking for these trap 6, and it'd probably be a bit like Lataro later on as well. They can't keep walking out of 6, and I think the quality of the dogs, they only have to get half a sensible break. I mean, you know.
The way I got Crossfield Dusty beat was got beaten by Newtown Sydney in a trial.
Yeah,
and it's done 15.94.
Do what you did with Flashing Willow and forget the trial and go on what you know.
Okay, Crossfield Dusty wins, but I don't want to back it at 1.68.
No.
Probably a no bet race, or we could have a little look at the place market. I think Freedom Whiskey in the place market. Blast Off Mason's a decent type though.
Just never comes out.
Yeah, it never comes out. That's the problem.
If you look at that last race, it looks good on paper. But I watched the replay and I thought no, that wasn't all that impressive actually. So
Loghill Flash as well. I think Loghill Flash is probably the value in the place market. But
big price.
I can't have a bet here with anything resembling confidence. Can anyone else?
I've had a little bet on Crossfield Dusty when he drifted out. He's come back in again now, but I made him 2 out of 5. Tom made him 2 out of 5. Just thought
Did you?
Yeah. And he went out to about 1.7. He's come back. He's hardened again now, so I can understand you're sitting this out really. But I don't really see any value in it. I agree, actually, that Freedom Whiskey probably should be second in, but I just think Blast Off Mason. I love Blast Off Mason, but he just never starts. He's one of them dogs. He never does it for me. He just never does it for me. I know he's won his last 2, but
he seems to miss it, pace up, and quite often find one too good. One, I think it was odds on at Hove the other week. Couldn't bet it, and then trap 1 was a non-runner, so he had the whole of the inside.
Yeah, he just doesn't really want red, does he? He's not really a red. I know that they don't want to see the middle because he doesn't want 4 or 5. He just wants to be off the fence. He seems to be a better dog out of probably 3 than 1. Put it that way, but. He's a nice dog. I do like him as a dog. I think he has got good speed, but his Achilles heel is his braking, and you don't really imagine him braking from red, do you? So,
no. Funny enough, was against him at Central Park, and it's the first time I think I've ever seen him come out on a piece of elastic.
Yeah,
and those 450 boxes are basically on the bend as it is, so you have to come out. I thought there's no way he's doing it from free, and was all over in a stride.
Yeah.
But I think if you look at the caliber of dogs in that race, compare it to Dusty in 6, totally different level, aren't they?
It's amazing because he went 2 to 5, 1 to 2, and he's got smashed back in again. He did actually go out to 1.7. He touched 1.7. He's just got absolutely cattled. And that's what I'm saying about Tom. You're right. You and hard, didn't you? Think, well, is it? Well, should we? Shan't we? And all of a sudden, you definitely shan't because his price now is what it should be. So even on the machine, it's just.
If you're thinking of laying him, then place market is probably your best.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Be very short.
Well, it's the same price it is to win on the track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought Call Me Tom was all right in this race.
Yeah, very fast dog.
That's the dog that did Mark Wallace used to train his dog?
Yes. Yeah. It was with Wallace.
Yeah, because it's the same ownership as his other dog, isn't it? And that was why it was redrawn, wasn't it? Because same ownership. Was it early night in the first heat? Yeah, it was. Yeah.
We were initially very aggrieved at that.
Yes.
That redraw, but it's worked out all right, so we can't complain too much.
I'm pleased. Anyway, you've got through. So anyway, heat 3. And away and racing, and 5 completely missed the kick. Call Me Tom up on the outside, trying to get round now is Crossfield Dusty. He's got hampered and dragged back, and it's 3 and 1 disputing the lead. Log Hill Flash up on the inside is blast off place, and round the outside is Freedom Whiskey.
If you're backing something at 3 to 1 on,
messy race.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dusty's gone right there, I think, unfortunately.
Yeah,
he's gone lame. Yeah,
have they?
I did think he. That was not good.
No,
not good.
Not good.
Yeah, Freedom Whiskey is a dog that kind of he runs regular at Newcastle, doesn't he? He kind of keeps bumping into Cool of any Gal even there.
Yeah, I'm sure one of its races a while back it got an awkward comment a little while back.
He does well, doesn't he, Tom Harbron?
Yeah, does very well. Someone in the chat, 1590, that one, just to put into context that first sprint.
Yeah.
What was the time of the first?
1542 and then 1590.
Yeah. 1542.
Thought the next was an interesting race. Could make a few arguments in this one, I thought, for the winner.
I need to change the time if we're going to do that.
Yeah, I saw that.
There we go.
Yeah, next one's an interesting race. I think I saw someone on Twitter say that they backed Mafia 33 to 1 at Anti-Post earlier today, I think.
That was the lad that used to do the Paddy Power, the Sky Bet prices.
Yeah, it was Ray, I think, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, I got my missus to go in the week and bet 33s as well. So I'm the same, and I've gone in again today. And I'm making favourite for this race here. I've got an opinion about Ella Supremo. I'll just, I know.
Let's hear it, Pierre. We're all out of opinions.
Yeah, I know Alex Antonou really well. I used to own dogs with Lorraine. Actually, had a really good sprinter called Perry's Tango, a blue brindle dog that we had. And he then, when Lorraine packed up, he then had his dogs with Terry Darton, who had Rising Brandy actually, and then kind of moved to Peter Cronin, like a lot of English owners do. Well, he's Greek, really, but English owner. And yeah, he went to Peter and had quite a lot of success. And this is one of his better ones as well, Ella Supremo. But I just think since March and then had a trial in April, in May, he hasn't come back the same dog. Although did win a race at Shelburne, did like a 1890 odd, and I just don't think he's really firing in his last few races. I don't think Shrew Call's quite the same dog that he was. I don't think Monty Mike is really particularly a sprinting dog, but he's
any opinions on Mikey's seeding? I have no idea.
Yeah,
I have no idea what he's going to do from there.
Yeah, I got him lane 4.5 from me. I've got him moving off, but he's probably not a 6 dog. He probably wants to be drawn 4 or 5, really. But yeah, I mean that actually gives a good draw to the old stalwart Carter Bar. I actually had him second favourite here, and I thought I've had a little nibble at him at 8-1 as well. I thought he was massive at 8, so I bet 2 at 8s and 6 at 5s.
Yeah, he's come back to life recently. He looked like he'd kind of lost his edge a bit, and I know Derek Knight did an interview somewhere and said that he's had a couple of injuries and he just isn't coming away and showing that early anymore. I tried to take him on at a short price at Hove a couple of months ago, and he then did 16.20 and was 4 up in 2 strides to make it look very, very stupid.
Yeah, and the other thing as well, Sam, is that he looked a little bit. I think when Derek had that interview, he looked a little bit moderate at Romford, and they probably found a few little issues with him, and he looks a good dog again at Romford. He's running against Antigua Sox and beating him, for God's sake, and Ballymac Slap Up. That is good form, isn't it? So
yeah, he's broken 24 seconds the last twice at Romford as well, and his sprint at Toaster 15.77 and went round Hove in 16.22. That suggests that
because of that Hove form, Sam, it's not like he's not a 2-bend sprinter.
No, exactly.
He's a 400-metre dog at Romford. I just thought that he actually, I know he's not a young dog, but he actually is running into form or running at the top of his game, maybe.
Yeah, and
whereas maybe Shrew isn't.
Yeah, and he hasn't had a massive amount of races for July 18, to be honest. He hasn't been over-raced for sure.
No, he's not. No, so really, I was definitely against Ella Supremo. And as much as I'd like Shrew Call as a greyhound, again, I think he's been a little bit maybe hit and miss lately. Again, got ability. If he cracks out, then I'm I'm in a world of pain. But signing Matthew is always a clockwork. Right, the Trainers' Championship, whatever they call that race at Monmore, where
Judgment Night,
Galliv and
PL needs to put a pound in the meter.
So yeah, I've had a nightmare. If it carries on tonight, Tom, they'll get the volley on Monday.
Yeah, they deserve it.
I find with Mafia, if I bet him, it's the days he comes out 4 behind, and if I bet someone else, it's the days he comes out level and destroys them.
Yeah, I think it's one to just watch the prices, see where they end up.
The only place for hedge is a garden, but if you fancy hedging, this is a decent market to do it in at the moment. That's all I'll say. Are you wearing a Wrexham shirt, Simon?
I'm unmuted there myself. I am indeed, Tom. Sort of represent.
Yeah.
We won't
sick of seeing this shirt. But...
We won't talk about the end of the season, should we not?
No, let's forget about that. We'll look forward.
Five-dog race coming up at Crayford. It's like having foie gras for the main course, watching the toaster card followed by
I think I'm going to quickly get a beer, lads.
Doner kebab at Crayford.
Oh, I've just had a message come through. The Nathan Hunt Racing Club would like a shout out. So shout out to all of them. Otherwise, I'm going to get abuse in the group all evening. So,
there you go. There's an advertising fee to be paid. So if you can transfer £100 to Graham Watchalong bank account, much appreciated.
Fine. I'll forward the invoice on to Rob. It's fine.
It sounds like the racing club's a good laugh, though.
Yeah, there's probably 11 or 12. Not everyone is in every dog, but everyone has a laugh and wants the best for everyone's dogs, even if they're not in it. And as I can imagine, like plenty of WhatsApp groups, plenty of messages in there that can't be put out to the public.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what it's all about.
And you're in the camp, aren't you? The Nathan Hunt kennel, Tom?
Yeah, we've got Quarter 10 Steel with Nathan Hunt, who Quarter 10 Steel actually runs tonight.
Oh.
So we can have a little watch along together. I wouldn't say it's a bet tonight. Well, it depends on the price, but the prices are really strange in this race. Really strange. Look at the price on a Leslie Primo.
Looks like a market when nobody wants to take a stand.
Tom, you're going to call me a liar, but I had Ella Supremo Centre too.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's been even money most of the day.
I know. Yeah, I know. But I don't know whether did you go back and watch his recent races?
Yeah, I do see what you mean.
Yeah, they're not great. And again, when I saw him sort of last year and the early this year, I thought, geez, I'm pleased for Alex because he's got a really nice sprinter, and he had a dog. When I first started punting, we're talking about punting and learning and young people and maybe newbies and stuff like that. I always got taught to watch for early speed rather than just banging that trapping ability.
Yeah.
And I think recently Romford are the
pounding the meter again.
Said on Racing Post TV, they said, "Oh, sorry, yeah. Can you hear me now?"
Yeah. Recently at Romford,
the Bally and the Bowler Red, they said that he hasn't got any early, and I think people do sometimes get confused between trapping ability and early pace.
I completely agree. Yeah, and that is why my first bend sectionals are so valuable. Because exactly that. Because it's where you are at the first bend rather than where you are.
Yeah,
straight out the traps. That's the most important.
Sometimes sectionals are irrelevant, Tom. Yeah, you're right. It's what they do from halfway up the run up into the first turn.
I think the two key moments are the first two paces out the traps, depending on if dogs are well drawn or badly drawn, and then what turns the bend in front. The sectional point is the worst data set on that whole run.
Yeah. I think people get obsessed with the sectionals.
Yeah.
Because you can get a dog that smashes, but it's got no early, but it'll do a good sectional.
Yeah.
But if the dog then roars up on his inside, and again, that's draws, you don't want to be on the outside of a smash breaker. If you're on the inside of a smash breaker, then you can get that clear on. And that's why I always do those. That's another thing that I've kind of been picked up from people that have probably got more brains about dog racing than I have. That is the draw is also key, and the lines that dogs take. Because if you can imagine a dog that, like we spoke about Lataro, Patrick Seeding rails, if he gets drawn trap 1, all he's got to do is spend his time moving into lane 3. So that's not a straight line. So how can he go the quickest sectional to the bend? Can't.
Yeah.
Because he's taken a diagonal line,
Mm-hmm.
and like you'd say, you Tom, with what you've done, you're talking about the optimum sectional. Well,
Yeah.
if you could do like a triangle, and everyone knows about Pythagoras theorem and stuff like that. If you're going at an angle, you're taking a longer route.
Yeah, very true.
So if you're
Very,
going
very true.
if you've got a good draw and you're going in a straight line, you're going the quickest route to that first bend. And the first bend is all important. Not necessarily because it's a long run to the bend, but sometimes certain tracks it's a front running track, then you need to get in front. So all these things need to be fathomed. And again,
I wonder if the racing managers have that data, because people talk about grading dogs to first bend. Looking at not so much that race I put up there, but some of the ones I put up on Twitter. The times to the first bend are like 6:09, 6:11, 6:10, 6:09, 6:11. They're so tight. But you look at their finish times on the card, you look at their sections on the card, they look like they're well spread out. It looks like there's an obvious angle. It's not as simple as that.
No. Yeah.
Going in?
I think Ella Supremo is too big at that price.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm happy to cover Carter Bar as well for the price.
Yeah, wide open market. 3 the field market. All loaded. Chris is going to check them over. The 4th and final. Notebook. Watling Street Sprint. Heat. And away and racing, and Shrew Call gets a really good break and leads into the turn in front of Houston Main up on the inside, who's trying to challenge now up on the inner. Shrew Call from Houston Main. Then in behind these comes Carter Bar running on along with Moti Mikey up towards the line. The red gets at Houston Main for Kevin Hutton. The Swindon winner recently goes up on the inside of Shrew Call and takes the race.
Not having a bet is a win sometimes.
Good result for a friend of the show, George Burton there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're delighted with that. Well done, George, if you're watching.
And that's one of the litter they bred as well.
Yeah, it can't be much of a better feeder than that, can there? When you breed their own and they run like that, that's a hell of a win.
Definitely.
And you feel
railed beautifully.
You did, mate, yeah.
Shrew Call's a decent dog.
Yeah.
He is, but
he's a good
from what you were saying, he's not quite running at the level before. Once he was out in front before, you'd have just turned the TV off and gone to collect, wouldn't you?
You would. No, you would. Ben Green, 1577.
What came third, lads?
It was tight, wasn't it? It was close between Carter Bar and Moti Mikey. The commentator never called it.
Yeah, it'd be intriguing to see if that middle seed has paid off for Moti Mikey there. But...
Okay, right. We're done with analysis. Can I change the banner? There we go. We move on. It is quite nice only doing one meeting, but doing the races in a bit of detail. It's when we're doing 2, like doing 20 races is good fun, but you can't put as much work in, and you haven't got time for analysis. So I quite like the geekery of doing a race properly, and spending 10 minutes chatting about it.
Yeah, this is top class racing as well, isn't it? So it always helps that. Yeah.
What price would you back Kildare at in the next?
After last week, I napped Kildare last week, and I was more confident than most toaster bets I've placed.
Yeah.
In the Derby, I thought I couldn't see how he'd get beat, and then obviously that didn't work out well. So
was it that?
Simon, was that because you thought actually 4 was a better boxer than 1 was?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what
you think he's got the ping box.
Yeah.
Off you go, break a little bit better than you have been out of trap one, and yeah, I couldn't see past him.
And he
But
didn't really. And I actually, again,
The going was awful last week, though.
it was,
Awful.
yeah. And the fact that he never led Tom probably didn't help him. And I must admit, watching him in the Kirby in 4, I thought that is okay. Probably won't. I would say, would you agree, Simon? His best box would probably be 3.
yeah, 3-2.
Yeah, 3 or 2. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah,
But I think if you're getting 3 or 4 in this derby, I think you're happy.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone will complain of getting.
And I must
putting either
admit,
of those
I was the same as you. I thought the switch from what I backed him in the first round and was disappointed. I was disappointed. I said afterwards I was really disappointed with the run that he never picked up Le Bonnet.
Yeah.
And then the second round, he kind of did what you kind of thought he could do. And then when he was switched to 4, I thought, well, that's you now. Now you'll show us your Kirby form. Do you know what I mean? The proper 29-10 run. But he seemed to get trapped on the outside of, was John's dog in red? Swift. Yeah, it was Swift.
Iconic,
yeah. And then Kilkenny Santi had kind of just kept him trapped 3 wide a little bit. But he never really showed pace that you thought he was going to show, kind of thing. But he was trapped out wide, and he had a miracle to qualify. I just thought he was better than that, and I'm still waiting for that Kirby Kildare form to turn up. But I do think that the makeup of this race, we could see him step up. Now, whether Peter's been struggling with him, and I know he's been travelling backwards and forwards. In the old days, he used to stay with Paul Foster in Swindon, but he's been travelling backwards and forwards, and I sometimes think that takes it out of that. Although it's nice when they get back to their own kennels, it's the travelling that might, especially for a young dog like him, might just upset him. But I think there's so many scenarios to this race because Cape Cloud keeps trapping and he's cleared. I don't think he'll clear sign it, Ace me. I don't think he will.
I'm of the opposite view, Paul. Just based on what I saw with my eyes last week at the track, I thought I couldn't have it. Out of 4, I thought I can't have the fact that Cape Cloud gets across and wins the race, because when you look at the head-on, which everyone did before the race, I did it myself. Looked at the head-on, and he was desperate for the rail. I thought there's no way you can get across the 3 dogs inside, and it absolutely flew out the tins. And it wasn't a problem, so I think he might do it again. I think what you're looking for at this stage of a derby is consistency.
Yeah.
And if you look at Cape Cloud, he's in a 402 split, a 406 split last week. I think he just clears sign at Ace, causes Ace trouble in terms of where he goes as soon as he traps, and catch me if you can. If Cape Cloud traps for me.
Yeah, I think one of them needs to go bang, otherwise they could be both bang in trouble. I kind of read it the same way as you, Paul, that I thought that Kildare might get a lovely run by 3 and 4, just hindering each other on the run up. For obviously 5's the outsider of the race, but has a very good chance to qualify with where Cape Cloud's likely to go. Just depends on whether it can not get involved with Priceless Jet, which is obviously showing a great lot of middle, but then seems to be kind of faltering on the run in the last couple of weeks.
Not chasing was the verdict amongst a few peers last weekend, and I agree, to be honest. If you look at the form over the 750 at Shelburne, he was an absolute monster, and he'd keep going to the line, but I haven't seen that at Toaster and previously at Shelburne just before. So I think that opinion could be correct.
Do you think like Priceless Jet's not coming home that strong at the moment?
Just not chasing the hair fully.
Right, gotcha. Yeah.
To be honest, Paul, yeah, just
I got you. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, just not got his nut down. But I mean, I spoke to Ian Fortune about this, and he said, "Oh, you can't write off Paul Hennessy off of one run." but I don't think it has been one run. I think it's been all three runs. I don't think he's actually come home that hard on all three runs. I don't think he has.
To be picked up by Coppice Fox in the second round
Yeah.
was a bit of a shock,
Yeah.
wasn't it? And,
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
and that was sort of supported last week by the same,
But
issue of not
even
getting
like
home.
everyone said,
Shouldn't have got picked up the week
all
before.
those strong dogs coming home. He did even behind Ballymac Fairway. He didn't even come home that hard. I think actually someone come past him under running. Wish I had me.
Yeah, I think it did.
Before from last week. Actually.
Yeah, he was in second up until the last.
Just
30,
it
40
doesn't make sense. He just doesn't add up. His form doesn't add up like he was the dog. Maybe a year ago.
Yeah, it was the Ballymac Belleville dog. Chinned it on the line for second. That has been coming home like an
Belleville got
absolute
him on the line.
rocket. Yeah.
You don't want to call a dodge, but it just looks like a dodge. It just looks like a dodge.
Well, the dog's had that much experience and top quality racing at Shelbourne Park. Sometimes a dog doesn't go bad overnight, but the dog just isn't producing the same runs as it has in the past anymore.
I've got a theory about wide runners. I think wide runners are more thinkers. Sort of, they obviously they're wide runners because they cause the hair a bit more.
We're not going down the avenue of the wide dogs as slower dogs, are we?
No, not at all.
I'm joking.
Well, they do run further in a race, and that's undeniable.
I've seen a politer version of dodge in the comments. Jet is a fiddler.
Fiddler, yeah.
That's a politer version.
Hasn't won in 9 months. Craig Day. 6 doesn't want to win. It's a very, very, very fast dog. No doubt about that. We owned D-Star Lord. He was similar-ish. He'd get going when he fancied getting going.
There's there's a dog at Monmore. Is a bit like that. Got a mind of his own. I can't remember what the dog's called. I think it's with Billingham. Comes out the 6:30 boxes 12 lengths behind. Will finish like a rocket. But if it hits the front early, it doesn't seem to stay. I can't remember what the name of the dog is.
We might get a Spanish text in a minute to remind us, but I know the dog.
You've got absolutely no chance. His excuse for not being able to join us was some village party or something like that.
Of course. Yeah.
He's always got an excuse.
That'll be.
There we go.
Adrian
Emma's
Blanco.
got it. Emma's got it in the comment. D to D slider. The dog that is absolutely baffling. I think it got off the front in an open at Knots one day. It was leading off the second bend. You thought this must win by 12 lengths. I think it was about 30 lengths out the back by the drop. The most baffling dog.
What do you fancy here yourself, Tom?
I do fancy Kildare. So my view on it is he will be. He's got global vision. He's a massive dog in 2 inside of him. So he beats global vision to the bend every single time consistently. Then in 3 and 4, you've got Signet Ace Cape Cloud, bend at the same time, almost same time, bend at the same time. And you can throw Coppice Fox into that equation. A 6-10 there could play a 6-10 there, could play a 6-10, 6-11 there. On the basis price at Jet, we don't think can get his head in front. You can kind of rule out. So my view was that these 2 dogs, maybe with this one, are going to cause each other trouble by the time they get to the bend. Yeah, even if they break, even if they don't break, I think they'll all arrive at the bend at a very, very similar time and get pushed outside. So if I had to favour one of them, I'd probably be favouring Signet Ace. But I think Kildare just has the rail to himself. And with these lot, because they don't have to just tangle at the first bend, they can tangle at any point from trapping all the way to the run up. I don't think they're in ideal boxes. And with Global Vision as a bit of a gatekeeper, I think Kildare either traps, leads to the bend, turns left and wins, or doesn't trap. Global Vision traps up straight. Kildare goes up alongside him. Signet Ace, Cape Cloud come together, and Kildare turns left. So my reading of the race is kind of whichever way happens, Kildare gets in front.
So there.
Interesting race.
Very interesting race.
You could maybe argue it's one of the weaker heats of the four.
Yeah,
Don't know. Maybe that's a bit hard.
There's a lot of early in it. Ballinbowler Eds. It's a good job he's avoided Signet Ace and Cape Cloud.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, from the trapping ability, Tom. That's Although Cape Cloud is always going to be a good ally when Cape Cloud's in 4, I think. But for anyone that's drawn on the outside, and really, if Priceless Jet was running at the top of his game, you'd say he's a massive player. But he doesn't look any better than Cobby's Fox, and Cobby's Fox, and that's what I'm saying. I think Priceless Jet is priced up on his old form and what you think he might do, and I don't think he's actually doing it. I don't think he's doing it. And as I say, Fortune keeps saying, "Don't write him off. Don't write him off." But I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it's one of those. This is what again was one of the most scenario races that it could so be. And you're right, Simon.
Yeah.
If Cape Cloud smashes and clears Signet Ace, Kildare's in a world of pain because now all of a sudden he's got to get around his kennel mate.
Yeah.
So I do get that. There could be all sorts of scenarios here, and again, it's what happens at Trap Rise.
Yeah, it is. Kildare's not the best trapper.
No.
Yes, Signet Ace and Cape Cloud are the two dogs that are going to trap. It's if Kildare can get round Global Vision, which I think he can. And then it's what Signet Ace and Cape Cloud do at the first bend, and I just think they're going to fuck each other. But we'll see. We shall see. I mean, it's as you can see from the times I've done through the first bend times, it is literally 1/100th of a second is the difference at the bends.
Yeah.
On a lot of these races, so it's very, very, very fine margins.
I actually think it is fine margins because I think Room will be at a premium, and although I backed Kildare, I made him 7-4 on the earlies because I actually make Cape Cloud a big price, and again, like you say, Simon, the traps could open and he could make me look stupid. He could, I know that, but I am basing this on dogs getting on this being a level break, and if Signet Ace breaks, Cape Cloud ain't clearing him, and then Cape Cloud's going to struggle to even qualify. So that's what I'm basing my price, and again, Cape Cloud's now going from what he was 3-1 earlier in the week to now being a 9-2 chance, which is near what I'm.
If this happens at the first bend, Cape Cloud loses. If this happens at the first bend, Cape Cloud loses. If this happens at the first bend, Cape Cloud loses.
Yeah.
See, I'm not that set in stone on that one, Tom, because Cape Cloud pings as he has been doing. He may not have the early to get to the bend first, but he may be in front.
Yeah,
so he'll ping out, cut across. It doesn't matter about that time to the bend.
It's what's happening on the way to that. Yeah,
no, I get that. Yeah,
but he has to smash out. He has to ping for that scenario to even come into play.
He's quite tight now, and he's Kildare. He is. Yeah, he's tight now because he was. I think one of the firms went 11-4 him. I took 5-2, and he went. He actually went. I thought I was being clever saying 5-2, and he went 11-4. But now you look, well, that was. Yeah, it's not a bad price. So this is it then. First quarter final. Kildare in 1, Global Vision in 2, Signet Ace in 3, Cape Cloud in 4, Copies Fox in 5, and Price's Jet in 6. Traps open and away and racing, and Cape Cloud has bounced out the boxes, looking to clear. Kildare's punching up on the inside, and Priceless Jet will lead the lot of them and goes on now for Paul Hennessy. A shot 5 lengths clear from Kildare's in second, and then in behind these comes Sign It Ace. Coppice Fox is looking to stay up on the outside of that rival. They've left Global Vision and Cape Cloud in their wake. At the last turn, Priceless Jet, full of running, is 5-6 lengths clear and will win it handsomely. Priceless Jet wins from Kildare, and Coppice Fox has stayed on for third.
Wow.
He was right when he hit.
I imagine you were happy for about 5 seconds there, Si. You thought you were loving life.
That was game over, yeah. But fair play, Priceless Jet has ran more like his old self there. It's nice to see.
Wow. Cole Murphy.
Don't
Well,
write him
you're
off,
right. You're right. He's run as genuine as they come there.
Look where he is there. He's out very nicely. Yeah, some run that. I'd like to see what the time is.
28.78. That is a time. That's the
clock,
track record.
That's the clock.
Wow.
That's a thing.
And you're not surprised it's a clock.
No, because you weren't expecting him to get off the front, were you?
No.
So,
It's twice as
Kildare's run well. Kildare's done what I expected him to. I just didn't expect Priceless Jet to do that.
Paul's comment.
The old saying, fools you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That was some run.
Yeah.
Cole Murphy, he's far from a dodge, lads. That's why it was insulting. But then if he can do that this week, why didn't he do it 2 weeks ago when he got picked up?
But then, having said that,
he's on the bunny this week, though, isn't he?
He is.
From the word go. Whereas the last couple of weeks, he hasn't had that type of.
Derby Lays. Cool. Look at Cape.
4 has turned left in a big, big way. He's done exactly what you said there, Simon. He's pushed across, got ahead of the 3, and then 3's come back outside, and it's just the whole inside's got fucked there, and he's just gone round.
I just expected him to hold to the bend, to be honest, and then be away, but it didn't quite, obviously, make it. Kildare sneaked up on the inside.
Wow.
That's put the cat amongst the pigeons for the anti-post market, though, for sure.
Big time. Especially because Ed's going to end up in 5 every race.
Yeah. Yeah, Jet. I was contemplating back in Jet. The start of the second round, I think he was still massive, probably like 90-1, I think, after the first round.
Yeah.
I was thinking at the time that was a bit too big, but
I've got PTSD from that race. I can't believe what I've just seen.
No. Very impressive.
Very, very, very
nice
impressive.
to see, though. I'd written the dog off as well after that last week.
I'm the same as you, Simon. I'd written him off because he did it too many times. And as I brought that up in the podcast to do with Ian Fortune, he said, don't write him off after one run. I thought, well, I'm not really right. I didn't say it, but I'm not writing him off after one run. It's what I've seen. But I suppose class tells in the end, and it just goes to show you that Paul Hennessy is a very, very good trainer. And a very, very good trainer of a dog for an English derby, as it happens, because he did it.
JT Jet.
And he did it with the Priceless dog at Nottingham, didn't he?
Priceless Blake, yeah.
So, he's thrown his hat in the ring big time doing the clock as well. Because to do that to Kildare had a relatively clear run, didn't he? I know he didn't break great, but he had a relatively clear run. He's absolutely destroyed him.
If he can do that again, it's Thorn Falcon again, isn't it? Guaranteed to get his box, only wide runner. You'll end up with a dog that should be in trap 1, ending up in trap 4, and it'll cause carnage. You'll just swoop round. Of all the variables that race are up, Priceless Jet bringing from 6 smash slots at 1. Wasn't for me, Keith, but it was for a few of the lads in the chat. if you thought Six could lead that corner and do the lottery. Yeah, I mean, I'll go back to the times here. Yeah, all those times. What
about that as well? Do you remember, Tom, when we did the live broadcast from Toaster, and Kevin Booby said the track record wouldn't be broken, 29 seconds wouldn't be broken? No. He said, Rab said, yeah. No. Jesus.
Especially a dog out of 6.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. It is a very fast dog, there's no doubt about it.
All of a sudden, Lataro might not be 3-1 anymore.
I backed Price's Jet, that race where he got caught by... Who did he get caught by?
Coppice Fox.
Yeah.
Bit of a turnaround in form there.
Yeah.
Will the real Price's Jet please stand up?
That's what this game's all about.
You look at those 2 races, if you put them side by side, it's incredible.
Yeah.
That's dog racing for you.
Yeah. And Toaster.
Yeah.
But you're right, it's dog racing, yeah. Getting nervous now, Tom.
Ed time.
Christie.
Fulham Rebels of Price. Having seen that.
Wonder what's the place market, Tom, for Rebel? What kind of price are we looking?
Fair price.
May go up slightly.
Yeah, I think it will end up closer to that, I imagine.
I'd be happy to play at those prices if you get 6.5 to 1.
Yeah. Yeah, still quite early. Not much of a market formed at the moment. But we've got a while to go.
I assume nobody could find a way to get Ed beat here.
No, I couldn't.
It's just the draw.
Unless he just completely misses. Well, even missing the kick, he's got so much pace to get to the bend.
Yeah. And Frankie's probably going to be moving in a bit and doesn't show any early at all.
He'd have to go lame. That's the only way I see him getting beaten.
Yeah. But yeah,
which he won't.
I described it earlier as it would need an act of God for him to go out in this, just the way the race sets up.
It couldn't be better, could it?
Yeah, it is a fair. I mean, I do worry a little bit because I think Dealey Frankie has been running really, really well, and I thought he was a decent winner of the Monmouth Puppy Derby, but he's one of them actually from 4.
Pound in the meter. Pound in the meter.
For me, Frankie, you couldn't really see what he was going to do from 4 because every race he's been in 2, even the trial. But yeah, I agree with Sam. He's either going to stay straight or go left.
He seems to be maturing with each and every race as well. Seems to be.
He does.
In its first few races, it would kind of you'd get him behind, and you weren't quite sure whether he was going to show the track craft even to compete.
Yeah, he was being very puppyish for sure.
Yeah. Put it this way, I almost cried when I saw this heat last week. I got Fair One and Hammond anti-post and saw them in with Ed and went, there's not much room to make it through. Where if Ed goes through. Fair One, I was slightly worried with Captain in 2. Just Captain probably shows a little bit more early and didn't want Fair One to be running up the back of it. Hammond's, I've had to close my eyes at the first bend the last 2 weeks because he's braking too well. He doesn't have enough early to make the bend, but he's broke out in front, showed nothing to the bend, and then been absolutely clobbered at the bend twice before taking off from halfway. I think not last round, the round before, I think he won. and I have no idea how he was about 10 lengths off first, coming out the second bend, and absolutely sprouted wings.
Yeah, I thought he was a great bet last week. So I'll get the trumpets out, but to place, he was something like he was just above evens. I really fancied him to place last week, and I was the same as you. I thought, oh my god, well he's going out here, but came home like an absolute train. So I'd expect the same again.
Yeah, just it seems to be once he gets some clear sand, then it'll go inside, it'll go outside. You just need to build up that head of steam. But yeah, you kind of want him to miss it slightly and be level with Frankie at the bend, because it wouldn't be good news if Frankie goes round in front of him. I don't think tonight.
You've got those three coming home strong: Hammond, Frankie, and Rebel.
Yeah.
Ed, you'd expect to be maybe clear at the bend, but if he doesn't lead by some miracle, then he's going to be strong between 1 and 3. So yeah, going to be some fast finishing in this race for sure, no matter what happens.
Didn't have time to do these earlier because the baby was crying, so I've just done them now. So, tidy up my Excel. There we go. So first bend times, Ed miles ahead of him that round, miles ahead of him that round, miles ahead of him that round. Sectional, fair bit ahead. Aussie captain slightly better, but Ed a couple of lengths quicker. Little bit ahead. So yeah, Ed looks very, very, very well drawn in this race. I think it would be fair to say, particularly given, you know, what's inside and outside of him each time at the first bend, what's inside of him and outside of him sectional.
Yeah,
he's just it's just a beautiful draw for him.
It's a good draw. It's a good draw.
Couldn't be better.
It's just the balance at the bend as well. He seems to carry on running an arc in a straight line, doesn't he?
Yeah, honestly, Ben, Sam, he just runs the bends to die for, mate. Yeah, and you're right. That's one of his attributes, isn't it? And it's funny because I think even in the Kirby at Limerick, he was kind of trying to cut the bend a little bit too soon, and he had dogs on his inside. Whereas here, he seems to just hold his line. I think he's maturing. I think physically, I've seen him literally 3 times in the last 4 weeks, and his physicality is getting better and better and better. And I think, you know, like mentally, he's probably getting stronger. He's getting wiser, and he just looks a fantastic dog. I wax lyrical about him, and I've had the privilege to see him 3 times now, and I'm just in wonder of him. I am, honestly. I'm 60 years old now, and he excites me. You know, the last dog I saw him was his granddad, or that got me really excited was Premier Fancy, and he's the same now. Really, really excited.
Casual Gent said, if Ed Ping's track record go again, I completely agree.
Yeah,
completely agree. Would you bet a dog at 1.54 PL?
Take doing a 29 dead, and that'd do me. Yeah, I mean, I said if it goes 4 to 6, then I'd back him, Tom. So if he does, and he did last week, I told you, because I was doing the show myself, he kind of went late and I missed him. But then someone's trying to back him at 1.63 for a lump, so whether he'll go out.
Well, we'll get on at 1.62.
Yeah, well, if you want to do that, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, again, it's a decent field. It's trying to weigh up who's going to qualify. Ballymac Fair was a dog I really like. Hello Hammond, I've actually backed each way as well. I've backed him each way after the thing.
Yeah, the obvious one on my first bend times is.
Again, you know, it's tough. I think Form Rebel will be in the world of pain.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to do an awful lot of running because either Ed goes round or one or two of these go round in front, and Rebel's got an awful lot of running to do, but is a very, very quick dog. And also, we've seen the 6 dogs running well today.
Yeah, well, as well, if you take it that Ed is going to be away and gone, Frankie moves inside, he's almost going to have half of the track to himself.
Yeah.
Although I think he's one of them. He does come in a little bit on the bend. So, he's got 2 dogs in the middle, 3 Hello Hammond and 4 Dealey's Frankie that are reasonably strong themselves. So, it's another. You could analyse this all you like. I suppose.
Pound in the meter.
Yeah, I didn't. When I looked at the race, I didn't take too many notes on this. I started off by going, okay, Fair One wants to move in slightly. Aussie Captain wants, in towards the middle. Aussie Captain wants to move towards the rails, so they could get in each other's way. Aussie Captain, you would think, would lead, but Fair One's.
I think there's a very good chance of Aussie Captain and Fair One tangling out the boxes at some point on the run up or at the first bend, and it'll take a smash break from one and a miss from the other for that to not happen.
Yeah, agreed.
Romford Ryan is on Price's Chat Antipost 130 to 1. I hope that's each way, Ryan, because if it is, I think you'll be getting a quarter of that.
It can't be, can it? 130.
No, it does sound like an exchange price, doesn't it?
Maybe.
But it's still nice.
Hell of a plan.
Had a little bit on Ed because he just can't go unbacked. Can't go unbacked. Yeah, it's the way that Ed runs the bends. It's particularly for a wider running dog. It's just so fluid. He runs the bends in the same way he runs straights.
Yeah.
And you just don't see it around Toaster. He doesn't look like he's on the turn. He looks like he's just running straight the entire race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. One of the best bend runners I've seen at the track, for sure.
Yeah.
I said to Sam and Adrian after the first run, that was probably the best run I've ever seen at this version of Toaster. It was unbelievable how he managed to get across. The pace he showed was unbelievable.
Yeah. Some dogs just find their track, don't they? They run well at others and not so much at different tracks. I mean, this is Ed's form elsewhere. He's not had a lot of races. This is a very special dog.
Yeah.
And one that not gone round Shelbourne yet, but you'd expect to go very, very deep in the Irish Derby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The runs he was making at Limerick, if you think about the track, it hasn't got the same kind of run up. It's a much shorter distance, so it didn't suit him. Whereas this, you've got one of, if not the biggest run ups to the bend, and it's showing his true colours, isn't it? So.
Yeah. It's a good shout, that.
They could keep him over and take him to Hove. The 515 would be right up his street.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
10 years ago, it'd have been bought for 25 grand and probably would be running in the Sussex, but.
Yeah, I imagine that M2 would be a slightly higher digit nowadays if anyone was going to run.
Let's call head home here, PL.
Yeah. Be nice. All locked and loaded then. This is the second quarter final of the Greyhound Derby. Ballymac Fair 1 in 1, Aussie Captain 2, Hello Hammond 3, Deedlish Frankie in 4, Ballymore Red in 5, and Form Rebel in 6. And away and racing, and the favourite has missed the kick. An Aussie captain has flashed out the boxes from the 3. Now here comes Ballymore Red, starts to get busy, and out of the second turn, it's Aussie captain from Ballymore Red, who's now got a race on his hands. In behind these comes Ballymac Fairone, and then comes Hello Hammond trying to stay on from the back. It's now the 5. It is Ballymore Red who lays it down to Aussie captain. Here comes Hello Hammond round the outside of a lot of them and up towards the line. Hello Hammond goes on to score. The favourite's out. Form Rebel gets up for a second.
Wow.
Really fight between 4, Deedlish Frankie, and 2, Aussie captain.
I can't quite believe what I've seen there.
Yeah.
I can when you see the break, and that's what everyone's been commented on Twitter.
Well,
that's what he does when he misses.
It just looked like he was. It just looked like he was going to sail past Aussie captain out the 4th. Hammond probably going to pick him up, but he's still safely qualifying.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you look at how he's been finishing compared to how he's been starting, that's obviously the weaker element of his running. But he did fold there.
Yeah, that was the disappointing part, Simon. Yeah, you're right. I did spot Hello Hammond staying on, and I thought, well, he'll qualify, but
coming off that third bend, you thought 5 was
just
away and gone, but he just didn't seem to continue taking it up.
Yeah.
Did he miss sight of the hare? 2's turned its head a little bit.
I think he did a little bit. You're right.
I think 2's had a little nibble at 5.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, but he just never come home, did he? Didn't come home.
Right.
Yeah. A proper little glance over there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It's more than a glance.
Third is.
Did it twice, didn't he?
Yeah.
Obviously, Hammond's finished like a train, but Rebel's still 6th coming out that last bend. So get up for second is incredible.
Yeah.
Obviously, the age years, the story rolls on for another week.
And it was all the 3 stayers qualified.
3, 6, 4.
Yeah. We did briefly talk about Form Rebels for place market in that race.
Have you seen what the TriCast pays there? I wouldn't mind of having a pound on that.
No.
972.98.
No way.
Yeah.
But who would have picked that?
Well, if you pick that again, you'd have been picking the lottery numbers as well, because luck is in.
Yeah. I think
again that massive.
Ed's an inexperienced dog, and the 2's tried to take a chunk out of him, and I think he's just shit himself.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Watching
he's not had a lot of races. He's generally led. He's not been used to being up alongside dogs, and the 2's tried to have a nibble at him.
Yeah, just watching the lines again. Frankie's gone a little right from 4. It's actually gone nearer to Ed than it has to the rails on the run up. Right. That's
having
surprising.
Another look. Maybe I'm wrong about the term. Just having another look at the replay.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm going to do that myself now.
I think it was only a very small.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was more of a coming together.
Bit of a nod to say.
That's what I'm saying. It was a race.
No,
he's not. Thing, Tom. Yeah,
he's not tried to have a nibble. He's just turned right, and his head's turned as he's gone bumped up against him.
I think he was trying to say you're not coming past, and then he knew that he was. So it definitely rubbed shoulders, though. I think Ed was having the sort of combat with him, and it ended up.
He's leaned into him, and 2's gone. No, I'm not having that, mate.
Yeah.
I
think so.
I think Sai's going to be sick of this, but the phrase of a dog to keep qualifying at Toaster, I think Sai's had to put up with every single week me going, how did they knock Hello Hammond out of this comp? The dog can almost be knocked to the ground, and he still seems to finish in the top 3 week in, week out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right. He moved off Deedlish Frankie, didn't he? Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, I expected he'd go left from there.
You want runners who are very strong and going to give you 100% every week and finish like that. It's key to winning this kind of competition.
Yeah, Hello Hammond just seems like, again, he's a bit like a Price's Jet. He's a good competition dog of it. And he has every week he has been roaring. Whereas I think Price's Jet today has stepped up a level.
Yeah, Jack 2 just asked for an autograph. I think you're probably right. Yeah, no, I think you are right. I think they've just come together, and he's just turned his head by virtue.
I think it's just a racing. It was a racing thing. It's a jealousy thing, Tom. Yeah,
I'm talking through my pocket as well earlier.
Well, there was one. Was it the opening race last night that got given awkward Bogger Duke, and that was 10 times worse than what that was.
Yeah, it was.
That was yeah.
But that's going to blow the market wide open.
Yeah.
Priceless Jet's going to be the favourite. How things change in 25 minutes. It's nuts, absolutely nuts.
Well, Latoro will be favourite, surely.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I was thinking today about the dogs that have just shone through derbies, the likes of Claire's Rocket and dogs like that in the early rounds just look absolutely unbeatable, and then it just takes one thing and they're out.
That was the same as his granddad, wasn't it?
Wrong there. Yeah, I agree on the replay. Yeah.
I'll be getting the prayer mat out again, lads, for this race. Magico anti-post. Hopefully you can.
For as much as I've been talking about Hello Hammond, Sai has reciprocated it with talking about Magico week in, week out. So I think he's got a task on today with Denver inside him. Denver obviously won the Cat won at Perry Bar. Last week had a mammoth task on with the dog in, I believe he was in 2, and the dog in 3 wanted bang rails, drove him mad for half the race, then ran what was a really mature race, I thought, because Latoro was on the scene at halfway. They got both picked up by Bo in the end, but Denver, probably a little younger, could have easily just downed them tools with 3, just barging it for the first half of the race. Be interesting to see what happens today. But I think Denver can break and win. Latoro doesn't convince me from 6. It does go bang every now and then, but if it doesn't go bang, he just doesn't look overly comfortable trying to pass a dog.
I think this is a horrendous betting race. I could make a strong case for 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then see 2 win. I think this is the worst betting race of the Derby.
No, but 2 can't win. I don't mind saying that 1, 3, or 4, or 6 can win, but 2 can't win. And
5's capable of a smash out.
They can't clear all this speed. I must admit, you're right. I've and I've gone heavy on this race, and I can easily leave it behind. I can easily leave this behind.
What have you back, Paul? Back 6?
I bet Bobsleigh Dream.
At
5, and I bet the bottom actually at 15-8, but he went 3-1 with Hills, and he could, that was stupid. I probably should have gone in again, really. But the caveat to this is sign it Denver and Infield Trojan were rubbing shoulders, but because it boxing track 3 rather than 1 or 2, if he goes a dream to get a Sunday best break and get up inside him.
Got about 20% of that.
I think what Paul was trying to say was.
Oh, you didn't get that, no?
No.
Trojan.
Oh, so lovely. So my internet is really working well again. So.
Trojan caused Denver a bit of difficulty last week, obviously with that early pace.
Yeah.
I was with Sam on this. I fancied Denver as well, just about, but absolutely not a strong opinion at all. Just has the ping box and is running really well. Has the inside to himself if he breaks. So
go wide, said, keep saying it. I keep saying it, Latoro's got a kink. I've been wondering that since the first round. I mean, it's been running pretty well since. There's not been anything to back up my theory on it, but I know exactly what you mean.
He just doesn't convince me if he isn't off the front.
Yeah,
That's what slightly baffled me, that he was second favourite in the market.
Yeah,
because
agreed.
I could probably make
Even
a
until
case for,
today, yeah.
Yeah, I could make a case for 5 or 6, like Sing Along Sally or whatnot, to be ahead of him in the market.
Yeah,
he just seems to be priced based on him going bang from 4 in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm confident Wong goes through here. That will be if I had to say something, if my life depended on it, one qualifying would be what I'd be most confident with.
Yeah. What was your angle on the one here, Paul?
Just that she's better out of red.
Hmm.
And like she had the 4:15 when she broke the clock at Tralee 5:70. She was in red, and she just goes raw. She just seen again lines, Tom, straight lines up the rails, and she seems to be a faster bitch out of red, and make noises moving off. So
yeah, first round of Derby, did on my time in 6:10 to the first bend, and the only dog that went fast on that was Latoro. Did a 6:09, and obviously Latoro, it was a track record run, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That first run hasn't been repeated. It's done 6:13, 6:17 since. So I can absolutely see that angle. The price is skinny enough now, or still worth a bet at 4.5, 4.6.
If I'm honest, I'm tempted to go back in on Denver at 3-1.
Yeah, I must admit, I've not dismissed Denver, but I've at the prices I bet 1 and 6, and yet 6 has got have the big runner, because if he gets loose, he's a dangerous dog. Because obviously he even beat the Tara in the Laurels at Perry Bar. So.
Yeah, I'm still holding out hope that Denver goes absolute bang one week. I'm going for the fastest split. So hopefully it's tonight. A nice $3.99 would go down a charm. Not asking for much at all there.
It's a good race, this.
It is, yeah, a very competitive race.
Still trying to come to terms with Christie getting knocked out.
So am I. Shell shock.
33-1. Oh.
Yeah, I got on at 25s.
I think people who haven't got on Ed anti-post, they'll be breathing a sigh of relief, thinking, "Here we go. I've got a massive chance now." Compared to before that race, you're thinking, "Oh well, I'll be happy with place money in the final."
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a techie question, Tom. One of my friends has just messaged me. How do you comment on your mobile if you're watching us? I have no idea.
Through the YouTube app. Okay. If you're on the Twitter stream, it won't work. You have to go onto the YouTube stream, onto the YouTube app, and then there's a chat function.
Okey-doke. He probably only wants to give me abuse, so it's probably easy to say that it isn't actually possible.
I'll definitely put it up if it comes on. So just if you can hear that. Not much there. Lataro favourite at the moment.
I'd struggle to make a case for anything at the prices.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would agree with that.
Maybe a couple of quid on 5 in case. We've seen
5 in the place market, I think, is worth a £5. I think that's a very, very big price for a dog that's capable of a ping.
It's been a very strange set of results so far from 2 races, hasn't it? So, anything could happen when you're talking 40 to 1 plus.
Yeah.
Derby quarter final.
Somebody in the comments asking which one of us has a pet seagull. I don't have a pet seagull, but I do. I've got windows open and live about 2 minutes away from the beach. So I've got lots of pet seagulls if I walk outside with food, because they're not scared of humans and they will physically try and take the food out your hand if you leave it there.
Do you live in Brighton?
Worthing's about 15 miles away.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, bang on the coast.
Pretty close, yeah. They're big, the seagulls there. I've only ever slept rough once, and that was in Brighton. I went to a stag do, and there was, I think there was about 20 of us, and the best man only booked 10 beds in a hostel. And we got back after a night of drinking, got back to this hostel, and it was the middle of summer. It was like 30 degrees at night. And the smell in this room, I can't even put into words. It was just horrific. Got back, found out there was only half as many beds as people. So, me and the lads, there was nowhere left to do. It was so late, and tried to sleep on the beach, but it's cobbly, so that's no good. So I slept on the bandstand, and we're woken up by the bin men who told us to go away. Then we did Zorb football. Strange weekend. Right. Derby quarter final.
So we don't bet now?
Just a few quid on 5 in the place market. I think there's just too many possibilities here to have a strong bet.
Yeah, I think you're right. Here runs in for the 3rd quarter final. And away and race from 2 runs off there, Make Noise, but he has held on to 2nd spot. And Romeo Majiko is away and gone. He's gone 4, 5, 6 lengths clear into the 3rd turn, ahead of Make Noise. In behind these comes Lataro, who's trying to qualify clear of the 5 Darren Safford Boss, and up towards the line, Romeo Majiko. He had his A game on tonight. 4, 2, 6 is the order. Make Noise has qualified for Seamus, with Lataro grabbing that all-important 3rd spot.
On you go, son.
Yep. Could easily have happened. Did happen.
Paced up very nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very, very nicely.
Two come out a lot better than what I thought it would, and it's absolutely ruined the race for half the field, didn't it?
I've got to tell you, Fours won a merit there. Fours showed better.
Absolutely.
He was always capable of doing that.
I didn't think he had that much earlier. I got to tell you, I didn't think he did.
29.01. I can see.
Last year maybe, but not this year.
29.01.
Yeah, good time.
It did look quick. I mean, you see Latoro, who's run a relatively clean race, and he's there. Probably a different proposition on the bunny, but I think the Latoro bubble has probably burst a bit after that race.
I think the bubble might have burst when the track changed the seeding again, and it likely wasn't going to get the middle boxes.
Yeah.
Just made it that much tougher for the dog, as Pierre was saying earlier about the Pythagoras theorem and the kind of triangle it wanted to angle in, make it that much harder.
He's qualified, doesn't he? So,
yeah,
absolutely. At the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
and make noise through. So you've got 3. Who have you got out there? So in terms of the top bitch market, but you've got Bobsleigh Dream out, so that only leaves Sally
Yeah.
left there. Sign at Denver out, who's running
Who
well.
a lot of people fancied.
Yeah, so that's a couple of surprises. Anyway, Sam, on to the big race of the night.
Yeah, we need to get Sally through as well, and we'll both be in Clover.
Yeah.
Was that an anti-post bet, Sam? Yeah.
Yeah, both. I think it was about the only one that me and Si agreed on when we compared notes.
Yeah, I for me, Paul, when I looked at that anti-post market, and you were seeing dogs at like 16 to 1. Well, Park Blake, for instance, there's a big hype about Park Blake, but if you compare the two, for me, Sing Along Sally is the better of the two.
Well, she beat him on merit at Limerick.
Yeah, but the price
absolutely.
difference was incredible. Like Sally was 50 to 1, and Park Blake was going at 16s at one point. I just could not understand it. So I had a good bet on Sally, 40 to 1. I initially went in at 50s with the sponsor of the Derby, because I thought that was a massive price. The thing I regret slightly is she was 100 to 1 with 365 when the prices first went up, but there was debate over whether she was going to run in the Derby, so I didn't back it. But I kind of regret that one now, because going to get a few phone of friends in there. But yeah, I thought it was a huge, ridiculous price. How she was priced up at 50 to 1 when one of the best dogs in Ireland got to the final of the Irish Derby, runner up to Sapphire. Just mind-boggling price for me.
Yeah, it's a good shout. No, I back to myself, but not to any degree really. But she'll help. Now that a Kellerman's come out, yeah.
But it's a tricky race, this one, because you've got Goofy, obviously has been the best trapper out of this race, but goes straight. When I looked at the race, I thought, maybe Goofy's going to cause Sally some issues here, but I think Goofy goes fairly straight. Sally will want to edge left when there is room. She's quite intelligent.
She is.
She'll go straight if she wants to go straight. If she wants to move in, she will do so. When you've got Belleville inside, you know she's got a little bit of room there.
Yep.
Kilkenny Santee running out of his skin. Savannah Bow's going to come home like a train. Mickey Barrett is running very well for a dog who I thought had to trap. And you look at his Newcastle form, he was trapping excellently at Newcastle, but hasn't been doing it at Toaster, but has instead been showing that pace to get home. So very intriguing race. I thought this one.
Yeah, no, the Sally run last week against Sign at Ace, when she was up on the inside about half a length behind, it was one of those, is something stupid going to happen here? Is one of them going to clip the other? But yeah, the brains that she showed to just kind of run a true line and just get up the inside of him was class. Simple as that. Pretty much what you can. Perfect word for her, isn't it? Just class.
Yeah, she just timed it perfectly. There was a slight bit of worry. You thought, oh, come on, don't time this badly and check up. But no, she timed it to perfection and slid through the inside nicely. So
yeah, it would be interesting this one though, because you'd expect Goofy to probably be, if it was the same as what happened with Ace last week, you'd expect Goofy's going to be probably that bit quicker to the third bend, you'd guess.
That's my opinion. Yeah.
If she gets to him, where does she get to him? Is it right place, right time, or wrong place, wrong time?
Yeah. Mind you, from what you've been seeing tonight, if Romeo Majiko can lead that race, she can lead this race. So it's It's I don't know.
It's got one of the ping boxes as well.
Let's get it right. When you look at if you look at class, and no disrespect to Silent Goofy because he's been running well, but Sing Along Sally is different leagues to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, based on Irish form. But then again, if you look at Goofy last week, he's beaten Romeo Magico.
Yeah.
He's not done half bad. I completely wrote the dog off. I'll be honest. Before the Derby, I thought, well, he's there. He's going to come into play for the fastest sectional market and possibly win that. But what's he got? 1 round in him, maybe 2, just getting off the front. But very surprising.
It was the trials. It was the trial stakes run, wasn't it? Got off the front and folded like a wet piece of paper and did 30.05 or something like that.
Yeah.
First round, as you say, quicker sectional, probably going to go out first round, and what led and did was it like 29.36, and it just I would not have guessed it in a million years, if I'm quite honest.
No, I've been very consistent as well. You've got a 29.36, then a 29.43, then 29.35. You got what? 0.8. Well, 0.7 between
well,
that.
Probably last week was even more impressive with the questions about the going, and it been that much heavier that still it didn't seem to phase him when it phased some of the other early pace dogs.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
I like a conspiracy theory. Someone's put up a photo on Twitter of the Priceless Jet race, and the lure is about 40 metres ahead of the dogs at the first bend. So the dogs aren't even on the first bend, and the lure's almost at the second bend.
Oh dear.
So Priceless Jet is the only dog that can see the lure as it's going round.
Very interesting.
It's a Bellevue dog on Twitter if you want to have a look and see what you think.
LOH.
Have a little gander and see what you think.
What's your fancies here, lads? Anything past Sally?
I think Sally's class. I think Sign It Goofy is capable of a smash out, but I think it'd still get back run by Sally.
Yeah. Consensus general, I think. There could be a bit of value in the place market again. If you look at Beau's price and Belvolt's price, they're both going to come home very strong. Could be a play there.
Paul Carpenter, safe to say after 3 of the 4 quarterfinals we were truly getting it stuck up us. Once Sally has won, it'd be a clean sweep for the Irish. Oh, and you can trap and win from 6. You can if you're on the bunny, and it's cap for it.
An advantageous bunny.
Yeah. Anyone had a look at the Bellevue dog tweet?
I have, and it looks quite a distance away, and it's getting to that time when there's the lovely low sun, isn't there, at Toaster in the background going off the second bend as well.
That just looks wrong. John Moores, who's a Derby fave now, Jet. I think it'd be Sally if she wins this, but other than that, probably. I don't know. Would it be Jet? Are there still questions? What do you guys think?
You'd probably looking at what the prices were before today. If Sally wins, it's going to be what? I think Kildare can't be fav.
No, I agree.
Kildare, it would have to be Sally if she wins here and does it well. But it's going to be wide open. You'd think. It just felt before today. It didn't look like Ed could be beat, but if Ed did go out, you looked and I think Latoro was 7s or 8s, and everything else was 10s, 12s, 16s, 25s. There was plenty of value to be had if you could see Ed going out. But if you could see Ed going out, you're a better man than me.
What is the place market looking like, Tom? Please, out of interest.
It's pretty much how I have it.
Shame there's such a big difference between the win and place market on the one.
Yeah.
Very understandable.
Yeah.
PL been depressed since Ed went down. I feel depressed since Ed went down.
Yeah.
I feel very sad.
Not good for the derby, is it?
Feeling sadness.
Yeah.
Come on, Sally. Oh. Well, quite a few comments. A lot of viewers tonight. Hello, everyone. There must be a few new ones. If you're watching on YouTube, please can you hit the subscribe button? Pretty, please. If we can get 5 new subscribers, we'll put up £100 in free bets for next week. How about that?
Yeah.
We've got a new subscriber, Larry Fogarty. Good man. Tremendous early pace from Larry.
Oh, there's a big claim in the comments. If Goofy leads here, it'll do the clock.
I disagree. I think it's got a good chance of leading, but I think Sally will back run it.
I think it's a 29.30 dog, and that's it. And if he does a 29.20, John will be very pleased.
Yeah. PM is a good judge. Savannah Bow to play, sitting 3-1, not bad. Yeah, touching on that.
Yeah, get Sally through here. Anti-post pick in the tipping market, and that's the only way I'm moving up the leaderboard is if she wins the derby, because it ain't through my picks in each of the heats. I'll tell you that.
For anyone watching for the first time, if you join Matchbook using the code Watchalong as the free bet code, you get a £30 free bet. If your first bet loses, you have to back something odds of 1.8 or above. We're not affiliates. We don't get a share of your joining fee. We don't get a share in losses, anything like that. Just shows Matchbook people watching Watchalong are signing up, and you guys get a £30 free bet. So please join Watchalong, and if you do so, use the code Watchalong. If we get some free bets out for competitions next week, they will all, of course, be with our sponsors, Matchbook. Done my bit there.
Save it for the next race, though.
Yeah.
Get your money on Swift Wolf in the next instead of it.
Yeah, I think that's got a chance. I must admit, I was a bit.
I do like Triona's travel, but one race at a time. One race at a time.
Yeah, so do I.
Hey,
but it's interesting, but it's just we talk about
Sally, keep the faith.
Putting dogs in boxes and things like that. I thought, a bit one pace, but everything's got its kind of makeup, and that so that it'd be an interesting race to look at in the next.
Yeah, it will. Keith Part, the way the heats have been so far, Savannah Bow will smash the lids, break the sectional clock, and break the track record.
I'm sure Mr. Price at Ladbrokes would be happy if Bo won the sectional market tonight.
Certainly would.
Yeah. What is leading currently?
I think it's still Apache at 401.
Yeah.
Do we know tonight's splits?
It's a good question. I know Jet did 412.
Magica must be similar.
Jet was 412. Aussie Captain was 413, leading up his, and Magica was 413. So Jet is leading so far.
Wow, and that'll be a result for him as well.
Yeah.
Unless Sally or Goofy go bang.
Right. Let's have a good stream from you here, PL, or I'll have to do the commentaries again.
All right. Good.
No one wants that.
Sing along, Sally. The favourite then in track 4 for the 4th and final quarter final. Hair runs, stand by. Ready. and Racing and Silent Goofy has bounced out the boxes. Sing Along Sally will claim the rails in behind, and then comes Mickey's Barrett's going to turn in the pitch, but it is Silent Goofy who's in a bit of a hurry here. Some 2-3 lengths clear from Sing Along Sally, who's trying to close now into the third turn ahead of Mickey's Barrett. In behind these, then comes Kilkenny Santee and Ballymac Belleville. Turning off the last, Sing Along Sally climbs all over the back of the leader, and Silent Goofy has kicked again. Silent Goofy goes on from Savannah Bow, who got there for second, and I think Mickey's Barrett was in third spot. It was tight for third, but Sing Along Sally made a massive mistake coming off the last turn. She climbed all over the back of the leader.
She'd gone inside instead of outside.
Yep.
She'd have won that.
That is painful.
That is torture.
Absolutely painful.
It kind of went how you thought it would go, although he roared to the bend, to be fair. The winner roared. He roared. That is the fastest sectional.
Yeah, without doubt.
Yeah,
that is the fastest sectional.
Oh,
I reckon that'd be a 3.99.
Not on tonight's film. No, that'll be a 4.
It's got to be around 4.
Yeah,
29.21.
There you go.
She just met him on the crown, the bend, didn't she? Climbed all over the back of him.
Yep. She's in two minds, isn't she? Go inside, go outside. She decided to go outside. She bumped straight into Mickey's Barrett there, and that's it.
Yeah.
$5.16. Savannah Bowes got up second. A few people said in the place market.
Yeah, it's still 2 lengths behind the Belvo.
That's ridiculous. I mean, how can that be? The sectional is just a joke, isn't it? Jesus.
403 sectional.
And go for that. That's a 409.
Well done, PM. Savannah Bowes 3-1 to place. Good bet.
Yeah, that's done some running. It was still 2 lengths behind the Belvo dog coming into the third bend. It's gone out wide and gone round.
We all knew the 5 was capable of doing that, but I really thought, especially given the way Sally back run last week, she was going to get past, but that's Greyhound racing, and that split second decision to try and go around the outside and then bumping into Mickey's Barrett instead of taking that line on the inside, which I think probably would have won the race if she'd driven it, as she did last week, has cost her the race.
Yeah, agree. If you get a chance to watch it again, watch round to the drop. Goofy is still ahead going round the 5th and 6th bend. It only gets picked up just as they come right into the handlers. You think Bo would just fly past it?
I think of all the dogs we've seen today, I think I'd be backing Goofy as my pick for the Derby now.
Just get off the front.
He's just got very good early pace.
It's just one of them that
got very, very good early.
as a early pace non-stayer, and as I say, I spoke to John on the trials before the Derby, and he said he's already won over 500. He won 500 at Hove and 500 at Toaster, and because he'd been sprinting him, everyone thought, he's a sprinter. But he stayed all right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it running at Hove. I'm trying to find what time it did. I don't think the time was great, if I'm without being rude to the dog.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah, 29. 29.61. So a win mid-grade A1. But there's dogs that do 29.20 there. When you put it in at what it's now going to be in a Derby semi-final.
Nothing indicated before that first round race that the dog was capable of getting to semi-final for me of a Derby.
Right, but
it's getting stronger.
Yeah, it's done.
It's
getting better.
It's ping after ping, isn't it? Yeah. The sectional's got better week after week after week.
Something like that. Sort of Tim's Crow, sort of sprinty type dog.
Yeah.
But you've still got to do that in a semi-final, and you've still got to do that in a final.
Yeah.
Right, let's do our dough, lads.
That's the spirit. What price do you want to back Swiftwolf at?
I got 4-1 earlier.
Good question. What did I back at? It was 4s or 5s.
Do you think a saver on Triona's Travel would be sensible?
Yeah.
Yeah. If this race was at Perry Bar, it would be a 4-6 shot probably. Triona's Travel.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by Triona's Travel at Toaster, to be honest. When I first looked at the race, I was like, yeah, I'm going for Triona's Travel and a tipping comp. And I watched the videos and I just thought Swift Wolf is likely to lead this time. I think last time out had a bit of a challenge up on the run up to the first bend. That doesn't look likely here, so I was thinking on that basis leads and makes all, but if you look at Triona's Travel, hasn't been getting out very well. The last race at Toaster anyway, 4:28.
26. Yeah. I think it's the lack of any early in 4 and 6 is what really drew me to Triona's Travel.
Yeah, it's a dog that the 500 meters get that standing on its head. I know it banged out and done fancy times at Perry Bar, but with one that if it didn't bang out, it wasn't lost. It would still be staying on plenty well enough.
Yep.
Yeah, it was very impressive in the Laurels, to be fair.
Yeah. But you're right, Swiftworth, the 4:13 sectional, 4:14 sectional, 4:11 sectional is enough to lead up this race 99 times out of 100. The only thing that put me off a bit was that 29.75, having done the 4:11 sectional and just been out in relative isolation. I don't know if that's just because it's led so long for so long and long hair, short hair, all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's capable of going 2.5, 3 lengths quicker than that. But
it's a
it looks a reasonable bet, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a baffling one. It seems to win most of its races off the front, but they trialled it over 660 at Sheffield a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of a weird one, in that wins its races off the front. You wouldn't kind of put 2 and 2 together and go, we're going to stick it over six bends for a look.
Yeah. Keith's taken a similar view to me here. Travel will get plenty of room, 4 bedroom left on the run, up 6 won't have the early, should have a clear run up at the very least, and those plus the fact that it should clear either of them in terms of its early, will have a reasonable draw. I still think Swift Wolf will turn ahead of it. It's just whether it can back run the 3. What did you think, PL?
Yeah, I thought that although Swift Wolf is going to the rails, I've got it sort of lane 1.5. I think Tossie will be going like slow away, really going in a little bit. Freedom Alibi, I've got a bit hit and miss off 15 days, bit paddly under bends, runs off a little bit. So you're going to have to need to clear Freedom Alibi into the turn straight away. I don't think Hell of a Kerfuffle is the dog that we kind of thought he was. I think that Maiden Derby form's quite weak. Don't like Billy's Tudor.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd be a runner here.
What did you think of the caliber of class of the plate, lads?
So I think it's a weird plate.
Yeah, I agree. It's, 3 or 4 dogs at the head of the market that you go, they're pretty strong, and then the rest was a bit.
Yeah.
You kind of screwed your face up a bit, and
I do like Bocco's Belly. I think Bocco's Belly's the best dog in the competition, but I think it's a tricky race for it tonight. But the whole plate is just odd. It's just an odd makeup of dogs.
Yeah. I thought with if you look at the lack of Irish dogs, for instance, you've had some good Irish dogs go out, and they've brought them over. Some have brought them over for the sprint comp. I'd have thought maybe they'd have gone for the plate as well, but no, there's a distinct lack of quality. I thought, to be honest, compared to past years, but maybe I'm being a bit harsh.
No, I don't think you are.
Well, at the top of the market, you got Bellier's Fav, Warzone Tom, Sporting Chile, Chelm's Fred, and I know Chile did a great time off the front, but Belly, Tom, and Chile aren't exactly dogs that are going to be leading up week in, week out. So even the market's kind of a weird one for a track where you're saying normally you want to be bang off the front.
Yeah, I agree. Because even trying to look for some value further down the market, and I found that a struggle. I thought maybe Warzone Tom will be a price and he'll stay strong, but
Warzone Tom's a quirky dog.
I think unfortunately when he banged out and did 3:11 and I think it was 28.75 at Central Park Sunday, nobody was going to want to lay him at a price after he'd done that.
Yeah.
He absolutely ripped the bars out Sunday.
He gets bored after 2 runs at a track.
Yeah.
You can't back him a third time, but the fact he's gone somewhere else and come back, I think he's a decent prospect.
Yeah, if he just runs on strong, he's going to qualify.
Yeah.
I fancy him to win his heat, to be honest. So, no, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but then that obviously puts him through to the next round, and maybe one of the favourites, aren't you, Pro, to them?
What's that, Tom?
Yeah.
He worries, unless he turns in the top 3 over 4 bends, he worries me, because if he's out the back, he doesn't fully convince me that he fancies the task if he's out the back chasing a load of tails.
So any other opinions on this race other than me and Sam are obviously quite keen on the 3 Swift Wolf. Tom, you're on 5. PR, were you also 5?
Well, I'm 3 and 5. I think probably 3 offers the most value.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's one of those where I'm thinking you do all that work and the trap's open and you think
Freedom Alibi. Smashes out, leads around the first bend, they tangle 3 and 5 at the first bend, and Freedom Alibi goes on and wins. That's the magic of Greyhound racing. It can tame lions, this sport.
Any given day or any given race.
That's what it's all about. Boothby looks happy. Got his Miami Vice sunglasses on. Did you go down to Wimbledon at all when the dive was on there, Simon and Sam?
Unfortunately not. It was only, I think Toaster was the first derby I ended up getting to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you
before
go,
my
Simon?
time as well. Unfortunately, Tom, I was a late comer to the sport at that point, but obviously seen all the replays and what a track.
Toaster is a much nicer place to go to, but I think the actual running track at Wimbledon was top notch. But Wimbledon it looked like it looked like something that had been found in Aleppo after the bombings. The toilet was just like a hole in the ground.
Although they're one of the best maintenance managers there.
Yeah, the track was almost always spot on. Absolutely spot on. Yeah.
You don't mind that, do you? You either want one of two things. Either the facilities have got to be spot on and you sacrifice the track slightly, or the other way around, and the track's superb and you sacrifice the facilities. It's hard to get the two unless you go over to Ireland to Shelbourne, to be honest.
Yeah, I very much agree. So some of the stadiums in Ireland just unreal for provincial, Greyhound stadiums as well. Yeah, they're equivalents of like Harlow and places like that. It's just they'd be the premier track in the UK. One of the worst things at Wimbledon was the food and beverage offer. The food there was, I think I got food poisoning there twice. It was just awful. One night I went there, I had a dodgy burger, and then the lager tasted incredibly sweet, just like the sweetest taste you've ever. Not as sweet as in good, as in it literally just tasted of sugar. Yeah. And on the train home, I became horribly, horribly ill. I'd had a few beers. Like I was within my realms of being all right, but the poor quality of beers and the poor quality of food meant I was very, very unwell on the train. And I was going back to my mum's in Southend, and was quite sick on myself. And I remember some girls came over. They'd been to a Beyonce concert at the O2. Like, he's been sick on himself. And came over with baby wipes and cleaned me up. And all I could say was, "You're angels. You're just angels."
Wow. Well, all I can say is if there was anyone joining at the time where you started the line and they cleaned me up on the train, they might have a different idea to that story than the rest of us.
Proper Essex girls.
Fair play. You can't knock that, Tom. Good service.
No. So I haven't managed to get the price I wanted on Swiftworth, so it's just been more of a cover around 5 and a bet on 3 and the 5. But that'll do to get us out of this race. I'll be happy with either of them. I can see either of them winning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Swiftworth in the place market's quite attractive. Equivalent to 6-4.
You'd have thought he would be shorter than the 1.
Yeah.
I think one's more on the draw.
Either Swiftworth wins or he comes last.
Yeah.
There's no in between, really, is there?
I think Triona's Travel is probably about the right price there for the place.
Yeah.
Mrs. PL's back, Tom. She's been to York today.
What's she been in there?
A friend owns a horse, so she went with her.
Any good?
No good. No.
No good.
But it gets her out of the house, doesn't it?
That's the most important thing.
So, other than the dog at Romford, Tom, do you own any others?
That's my only dog at the moment. I am in the market for a minor open class dog, so if anyone knows of any, let me know.
Oh, you've opened yourself up for some offers there.
Oh no.
Oh, PL. I'm glad we didn't lease Ballon and Bowler Head as we planned. I'll tell you what, our offer's looking mighty generous now.
Oh, it was good. It was good. It was good.
No, at the peak of it, I had Early Impact, Stainless Steel, D-Star Lord, and it got to the point where unless something was in like a category 1 and approaching the final, I wasn't that bothered. It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous looking back.
Yeah,
I was just spoiled. I was absolutely spoiled by the luck I had when I got into the game. And when I got into the game, I was working in the Bahamas, so I was earning a decent bit of tax-free cash, and there was a massive recession in the UK and Ireland, so I could buy dogs that other people at the time probably couldn't afford. But I'm not that well off anymore. Dogs have got that bit more expensive.
Yeah, I
Welcome
keep
to
having
fatherhood.
the habit of saying no more dogs, and then somebody's, how about this dog? How about that dog? I've bought this dog. Do you want in? And
Yeah,
I'm too easily convinced.
yeah. Keith Park said should get a Greyhound Watchalong syndicate together, Tom. Yeah, we have talked about that. I think you've got to get the balance right on syndicates between having few enough people in that each person feels like they've genuinely got a say in the dog, getting enough people in that the financial burden isn't too much. It's a very tricky balance. We'll have a chat about that after the next race, and you can let us know in the chat what you think the ideal number of syndicate members would be. We can discuss that.
Let's hope the internet stays up for PL's end anyway. Here we go then. Derby Plate Heat 1. Her approaches off and racing, and 4 Helicopter goes on from Freedom Alibi up on the inside, who leads off and goes round.
Right, mutant PL. Hello, Fake or Faffle. Goes around with Billis Tudor, taking it around the outside. But hello, Fake or Faffle. The maiden Derby winner just about wins from Lemon Tossy in second. Freedom Alibi back in third.
Yeah, break decided that one, didn't it?
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out where Triona's Travel was going at the first bend.
Yeah, what on earth was that?
To watch it again.
Freedom Alibi shouldn't really have lost from that position.
Yeah, Triona's Travels tried to go to France there for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
They sound for it.
Yeah, like you said, Swift Wolf, Windsor comes last. Unfortunately, the latter.
Well, down the back, I thought we had the forecast for 5th and 6th. Triona's Travel and Swift Wolf.
Okay.
Yeah. That's Greyhound racing.
Paceless.
I think Faker Fuffle's one of those dogs that no one's ever going to get right.
No.
I think I bet it on debut at Hove. Did absolutely nothing. Then it won its second race at Hove, wasn't on it. Come to the Maiden Derby and said, there's no chance it's doing anything in that.
Properly turned left at the boxes.
Yeah.
Which has cost 3 its run, and 6 has cost 5 its run.
Yeah, definitely.
So next race is 8:45. The Chums Fred Warzone Tom Spinosaurus race.
Yeah, looks like
A good one.
looks like Pierre was left us.
He's been suffering with his internet.
Yeah, mine has done impressively well tonight. I expected that mine was gonna go kaput somewhere during the evening.
No, you've done well. Stephen McPhillips, I think hair is as far in front of first bend as in Jet's race. Seems a very long hair. Yeah, it does. It's an art being a hairdriver. Ben Green, last Yule sales, had pup do fast time of day, went for 5,000, has 14-month-old pup in Cork sales day, 29.30, couldn't get 3,000 sold, 29.20 pup in the week, 7,000, all over the place. I think the prices on the sales dogs are very high, very, very high. In the UK particularly at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a good way of doing it because you see them. You genuinely
Well,
get to see them, but
the bit that baffles me is the going allowances on them. You've got dogs that have never had a look at the track and you're sticking a going allowance on it. Not sure how you can suss it out, if I'm quite honest.
Did you watch the Hove sale?
I did not, no.
There were some good dogs, there were some bad dogs. There was one where the dog managed to get its vest off during the race. It was like dragging it along behind it, which I've never seen before.
There was one at Monmore last week or the week before, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They come out without a vest on.
Left its jacket on, didn't it? Jacket.
No, there was one last week. It had nothing on.
Really?
The person putting it in seemed to take the Trap 6 jacket off it as well. But yeah, there was one at Monmore a year or two ago. It was one of Adrian's dogs that it still had the jacket on. I think it ran on for third. It ran quite well with the extra weight.
Extra restriction. How do you boys get into the dogs?
Mine was family. So I was born up north, used to come down and visit Nan and Grandad down south in the summer months, and they'd been going to Hove since, I think, end of the 1940s. We found when Grandad passed away a race card from 1949 at Hove. He'd been going once or more than once a week since then. So kind of grew up. We'd come down, go to Wednesday afternoons. It was always a good family day in the summer holidays. Moved down there. And as they were getting older, they needed somebody a bit more able-bodied to be able to go with them to their weekly outing at Hove on a Saturday night. So from about the age of 12, was the willing volunteer on a Saturday night to go along to the dogs and put on the pocket money on the tote. And by about the age of 15 or 16, Grandad couldn't move about, so I'd have to tell my nan when she'd have to go put the bet on because she still didn't understand the odds. So really a family from family, really, just kind of got into it. They then passed away and probably lost touch a bit for a couple of years. But then last 5-6 years, probably through Twitter, that you're able to see other people that have the same interests as you. Because, most of the people I knew at Hove were all of Nan and Grandad's age. So most of them had kind of passed away as well. So there's no one really to have that common interest with, really.
What about you, Simon?
Yeah, totally opposite for me. So Wrexham, obviously, nowhere near a dog track. None of my mates' family have been interested in dogs whatsoever. I ended up getting into greyhound racing by mug punting, to be honest.
That's how we all start, Simon.
Yeah. So back in my racing tips that were probably put up by Matt Newman and Dave Mitchell once upon a time, and just randomly putting a bet on whatever I fancied, and then that led me to Roswell Romanoff at Romford, and she was just an absolute machine who'd win a few bets for us, and that was that. I was hooked as soon as I saw the racing at Romford. I started actually enjoying it and going, you know what, I quite like this. Let's get into it, and trying to figure out a card myself. And at first, absolutely clueless in terms of, I didn't have a clue in terms of weight, grade, nothing. Unless someone explains to you, you haven't really got a clue until you start losing money and you go, right, okay, where did I go wrong there? Then you can start looking into a card a bit more.
There's a lot of information on a card, though, especially when you're someone coming through the door that has never done it before.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then that you just get into it, don't you? So you get hooked into it, then you end up buying a dog, and that's how me and Sam met. We ventured into a dog with Adrian, Geordie boy, who we took from Romford up to Monmore because he didn't really suit Romford, so we thought we'd give him a crack over 4.8 and see how he does, and he was operating well at A1 at Monmore. So that was the bug. Then you want another one and then another one, and you want to keep trying to get up to your top grade open races, don't you? So that brought us to Treepy's Flight and Scalamara so far, and hopefully one that goes a bit further from the next one that we joint venture into.
Well, how old are you chaps?
I'm 31.
My salt and pepper hair may give the idea that I'm slightly older, but 38 myself.
Yeah. So we're a similar-ish age. I'm 35. I put it up this week. We were doing our YouTube analytics, and most of our viewers are under 34, which is pretty incredible for Greyhound racing. And I just think it shows potential this game's got, and this, our generation, the generation that comes after us, the TikTok generation, as I call them. I'm addicted to TikTok. I'm a bit old for it. That's what we need. That's what we need for this game to keep it going. It starts with horse racing. I find with getting interested in sport and stuff, Quarto Star and all that sort of stuff. I'd go to horse racing with my dad when I was young and have my £1 each way and whatever, and very exciting. And then it was right, okay, that's all right, but Greyhound racing's a lot more accessible. And how do you get into that? And bit of googling. There's not a lot on the internet about Greyhound racing, how you bet greyhounds and stuff like that. There's some basic stuff about how to read the card. But that's why we want to do our YouTube series about how to properly read it. I did recently buy a book when I was drunk about, you can probably guess the author. I did recently buy a book when I was drunk about how to bet greyhounds. And I sent a few extracts to PL, and we did have a good laugh about some of the ideas in that book, which are not particularly realistic.
It ended up with most of the comments were WTF.
So, is the author of the book linked to Toaster in any way?
I couldn't possibly comment on that. So, obviously, I don't want to breach their copyright, but he basically had I'm going to go and get the book. Hang on one sec. I'm sending it back. I'm going to get the book. One sec.
Yeah.
If
nobody's quite
live TV. Yeah.
If no one's quite, I'm sure the comments are certainly filling everybody else in that hasn't sussed it out yet.
Sussed it out.
Somebody else has started to put that Ladbrokes have priced up. I've got some William Hill odds in front of me for the market. They've got Magico and Latora 4-1 joints, Kildare 5s, Jet at 6s, Goofy 7s, Hammond 12s, Frankie 14s, Bow 14s, Barrett at 16s, Coppice Fox 33s, and Make Noise at 50s. So all very tight up at the top of the market now.
Yeah, Ladbrokes
right.
5-1.
I've got the book, boys. It's quite thin.
Yeah.
So it takes a 2-tier approach to winning on Greyhound racing. First tier is called the quick and easy section. So you're going to be astonished by it. So this is your kind of basic guide for how to pick a winner in most races. Fastest sectional, fastest end time. That's it.
Wow. Well, you've already blown.
Pick a dog with fastest time. I mean, who would have thought of picking the fastest dog in a race? So that's approach 1. Approach 2 will absolutely blow your mind. There's not many pages to flick through, but I'll get there. Hang on one sec. Right. So you basically create a grid and mark the following out of 20. The trainer, the track, its trap, its time, whether it will get a clear run. Now, all of those are equally weighted. So if you think the trainer's 1 out of 20, but the time is 20 out of 20, then you're averaging about a 10 there. It's just the most nonsense I've ever seen in my entire life. Anyone buying that book and taking that advice has wasted £10.99.
Wow. all we're saying is that you've got it in your hands right now.
How did you come to own this book, Tom?
I was drunk and bought it off Amazon, but thankfully several of the pages are illegible because they're not printed properly, so I am able to return it for a full refund, which is
wonderful.
Tremendous news.
Well, I reckon you should get him on for a debate, Tom. You've already proven tonight that the splits at Toaster mean nothing.
Yeah, very true.
That would be a good, fun debate.
Yeah.
I'm sure the comments will be full that evening.
A few ideas in the chat for it could be, but I can neither confirm nor deny.
We might have pointed people to the comments section in your absence while getting the book.
Well, I'm not saying whether the comment section is correct or not.
Good old Dick. Dick Frisbee.
Right. This race.
Warzone Tom looks very short there.
Extreme.
Yeah, if you could get a break out of 2, that's a very nice price.
Chelmsfred's looking a nice price, though.
Oh, it's a massive price, Tom. I fancy Chelmsfred. All right. I just scrolled through the Darwin tipping competition that you did, and Liam Aspin said to Tom, "Chuck me up a few places, pal. I'm blushing with embarrassment over here." So Tom said, "I'm afraid I can't do that. I'm a man of great morals. But if you want to DM me a cash offer, I'm only human." I just thought that was fucking brilliant.
I'm only human, Pierre.
Yeah, but you're funny as well, Tom. That's different.
I'm funny on paper. Doing it live, different matter.
You're funny. No, you are funny. Tom, you're definitely funny. You're definitely funny. There's no doubt. Actually, you are funnier than Tony Bullen.
I don't know if Tony Bullen is a man who prides himself on his stand-up routine, but I'm a big fan of Tony Bullen. Did you see that rant he did that Saturday morning? It was absolutely incredible.
It's nice to see a little bit of honesty, and
I agree. Yeah,
we're moving markets here.
Very honest person.
Chelmsfred is dropping.
Yeah, that's the
Tom's drift.
As you say, Paul, honest person, and that's the bit that's sad that is a hit on social media because it's such a rare thing to see. That kind of passion kind of coming out. He's speaking from the heart.
He's well respected as well, though, isn't he? Even some people may have a dig at certain staff members that are involved in the ground industry, but he's well respected, I think, throughout. I don't think there's anyone with a bad word to say about the guy. So I think that's
a lovely fella. Yeah. He's lovely.
Honestly, though, bet the dog with the fastest time on its card.
You've got a point, to be fair.
How can you pay £11.99 for that?
It makes it.
Maybe it's another way of saying an idiot's guide. You've got to literally talk somebody through.
Well, but it's as we say, the fast you could be say I am the Royal trialing over 4 and bends. Over 4 and bends, it's going to do a right old clock. But you ain't going to bet it in an open race over 4 and bends with 4 bend dogs. Might have the quickest time.
Money for 4. It's big money for 4 now, Tom. Big money.
Big money. Oh, huge. Been smashed then.
Big money.
Craig Day. How's the fastest dog not win? The fastest dog does win. You don't need a book to tell you that, Craig. A few more guesses for the author. Again, I'm not saying it could be one of many authors of Greyhound tipping books.
Craig's correct, right? No. So be looking to lead off. And off and racing, and Chelmsford
good
bounces
break.
out the boxes and will show customary early dash and lead into the turn ahead of 2. That's Master 1010. And then we've got Spinosaurus, who's just climbing all over the back of his rival. Then in behind these comes the 3, which is Born of Wine, into the third turn. And he's a bit of a hurry here. Chelmsford has a 4-5 length lead over Master 1010, who can't reel him in. And then in behind these comes Spinosaurus, and up towards the line, Chelmsford. Pay. Chelmsford win. 2 was second. 1, I think, just held on for third from the 3. But no doubt about the winner.
Well done,
John
PL.
Mullins
Good call.
is
Good
in hot
call.
form.
Good call. I read a book to pick that winner.
You have the fastest time.
Yeah, the fastest section, the fastest
time and the fastest sectional. Pin those together. You're almost guaranteed success.
This 3 was
This
moving into
bash
lane 2. Woohoo!
So you confirm you can't tell us the author. Can you tell the people out there the name of the book? They can go find the author.
No. I think that would be wrong. I think it'd be immoral to do so.
Well, you could be pumping up sales. People could be that intrigued.
Yeah.
But I guess you don't.
I read the book cover to cover in 33 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tom. And that included a few times to just reflect on the things I'd read as well and just reread them.
People might want to take the grid method forward. I mean, are we begrudging on that, or?
On the grid method, the author claims there's only 21 trainers in the entire country who trust to train a dog.
Well,
21! Such an oddly specific number.
Well, Tom, all I'm saying, you said there were a few pages where they didn't print. That might have been where the golden nuggets really are. You just don't know.
Because it creates a score at the end, because there's 5 categories, each one scored at a 20 to create a score out of 100. So in the example they give, the final score is 34 out of 100, and that means the author's 34% sure the dog is going to win. I can't.
But basically,
that's the maddest thing I've ever seen.
It's an idiot's guide. It's
the maddest thing I've ever seen.
I must admit,
it doesn't make any sense.
When I first worked, I went to Go Barking Man when I first started commentating, and I worked with Ozzy Osbourne, and he was a lovely bloke. God rest his soul, because he died. He got an illness and died, but he was such a good commentator, and he had such a good feel of greyhound racing, and yet he had a system similar to that. And he wouldn't tell anyone what the system was. It was all like the points. And I just think it's not like dog racing isn't like that, is it? Dog racing is it's a video game. To get the proper results for long term, you got to understand. And this is what we said about people knowing what it's all about, the lines dog take, and the sectionals, and actually that doesn't quite tell the full story, and the run to the bend and stuff like that. And he had this system, and he kind of kept it secret. He wouldn't tell me, and I just think, what were you doing? And yet he was a brilliant commentator. He just knew dogs inside out. He was such a good commentator.
Yeah, you see a lot of different methods and systems, though, don't you? Like just on Twitter alone, you see people.
I've just seen a comment.
Go on.
No, I can't. It's unfair. It's unfair to put it up. It is unfair. Each their own. People have their own opinions. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, their own approach to doing things.
Oh yeah.
My way, PL's way. We've got me and PL have got different approaches to looking at a card, doing the cards, checking how we do. I'm sure you guys have as well. We're all entitled to our views on how you pick a dog.
Very
But
true.
the thing is, Tom, I think the bottom line is what you do is real and what we do is real. It's not dressed up to be anything that we're not. That's the difference. And he was definitely that. And he's now working at Woking Football Club, by the way, all right? Just in case you want to Google that and just read between the lines. Is that there?
I'll tell you what, this is very highbrow with them book reviews and Greyhound Watchalong. we'll be doing the Hay Literary Festival next. Watchalong from the Literary Festival.
Right. Now we're talking about books then. People always say they're going away on holiday and they like gambling. What book would you read when you go away?
Man About Dog. It's about this guy he's a journalist and ends up buying a Greyhound, and he spends his money very, very badly. So that's worth it. That's probably the only decent Greyhound racing book I've read.
I have heard that, and I don't think I've read it. So I might actually get that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Harry Finley's book's decent.
Yeah, that was the other one I read. That is a good book. And the other one was Patrick Veitch's book.
No, I've not read that.
But apparently Harry tells me he's a nicer person than Patrick Veitch.
I've always thought about writing a book, but I've got some really good stories to tell, but I think I'd have to tell them as I'm sort of exiting the dog world. You know what I mean?
Or life.
It's proper sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Some of the stories I know about people in Greyhound racing, and I don't think I could tell them and go to a Greyhound track ever again. So I'll probably have to wait 40 years for them. But my first 3 years in Greyhound racing was just the stuff I came across and experienced was astonishing.
Borrow what he said, going dog racing with Tom, you have a 14% chance of having your hand shut in the taxi door.
I did do that. That might have been why my Uber rating dropped from a straight 5 to about 4.2 because of trapping his hand in the door. I mean, it closed on his hand as well.
It's funny because every derby, when it was Wimbledon, all the Edinburgh Mafia, they always used to come down. And you've heard of Mick Grubb?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And Big Steph, who's watching tonight, and Bobby, their pal. There was 3 of us. We went and met for a beer in Romford in the brewery, and then I think we went to the Sun, and then we went next door to the Chinese, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had the Chinese and we ordered the taxi. The fella, but bear in mind, Steph I'm 19 stone. Steph must be 20 odd. Mick's a big lad, and Bobby's not. He's fair size. And the fella turned up in a Fiat Punto. We all had to get it back. It was like getting a tin opener to get us in. You know what I mean? And he had the cheek to ask us for a tip, which actually we did give him a tip, and it won. But Jesus Christ alive! Fiat Punto for 3 big lads. No, 4 big lads. 4 big lads.
I was leaving Newmarket races late one afternoon, early one evening, and there was a dog I really fancied at Newcastle. It had been tipped up to me, someone with a bit of knowledge. And I think it was about 6-4 or something like that. And I was telling these guys on taxi, this dog's guaranteed to win. It's not cheap to get a taxi back from Newmarket. And they're like, oh, yeah, you've given us this tip. Thanks a lot. Cheers for that. We'll pay for taxi. I was like, cheers, lads. Threw them in the bookies. A dog had been withdrawn. The dog went off at 1-8.
Did it win?
It did. So it's 8-1 on.
All you can do is give a winner, Tom.
That's it.
That's it. Up to them if
Just
they want to
checked his
back him.
100% strike rate.
yeah. I told her it was a guaranteed winner. The fact that we can trap 1, 2 and 3 have been withdrawn or something, but yeah. Right, 9:04 at Toaster.
Ah.
So I saw someone put a Bubbly Bollinger earlier as kind of a staying dog in this race, but
wasn't
probably
me.
not for me in this race.
It wasn't me, but I agree. Because the free was the dog that was outside Denver last week and was mad for trying to get inside. I thought there was a chance 2 and 3 come together and 1 might get a run. 2 or 3 will probably go bang now and completely miss each other. But I could see a world where 1 gets a nice run where 2 and 3 kind of mess each other's races up.
I thought 3 led this race. It's just whether it wins or not.
Me and PL got on earlier on 3 at 13-2.
Oh, big price.
Very nice.
What about your dog here, Sam? You've got a stake in 5, haven't you?
No, I've got Corten Steel and a 907 at Romford.
No, sorry, Sam's got.
Sam.
No. Seb has nothing to do with me. I wouldn't mind staking Seb. No, the one. No. The one with Reese's is Bambi's Magic. Still hasn't the race yet, but yeah, a couple of exciting sprint trials. So hopefully he'll hit the ground running soon.
The odds compiler from the bookmakers that we got on with, PL, has commented, "You got on with me, the bot crashed."
Unlucky, sir.
Oh dear. Well, thank you to that bot, and I hope that bot's very, very kind to us if the Trojan wins.
Yeah, Pope. That's all. That's what Tom said anyway. It's got to be a Pope.
No. It was 6-1 with Paddy Power. I'm not having a Power. I'm taking you to fucking Ibas.
Yeah.
Did Craig have a few beers last night? Is that what happened this morning?
Oh yeah, look at that. Look, there's the story with the Romford night. Big Steph, I told you about Stephen Phillips' part. The best Romford night was when I disappeared and then turned up with a pile of food in the pub, and the bands said no food allowed. Big Mick and Steph said it was starving, so I bombed down to a takeaway, got a cocktail your stuff, try to take it back anyway. No, you can't come in. We had to eat on the bench outside. Oh, stop.
Go Tots. This has got to be first for Greyhound Watchalong, where we're threatening each other with court proceedings live on air.
Before the race.
Yeah. Tom, you know it's not going to win anyway, so
no, it's not.
It's
not. Should we lay off? Count it towards our profit and loss.
Tom, what's the price on 5 in the place market? So skinny compared to the win price.
It's because they genuinely look at the price of it to place.
Yeah, which is fair enough. But no, not a knock on Matchbook. I think it's
literary reviews to Ibas threats in 5 minutes. Very good.
That's funny, yeah. Is Emma the girl that does the Monmore stuff on Racing Post TV?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Emma. Brilliant. Well done, girl.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah, she is good. She's very, very good. Yeah, she is.
As well
we got. It's funny because we got not criticised, but we got pointed in the right direction by Cardi. We didn't have enough females on the show, Tom, wasn't it?
It's because me and PL are too awkward to speak to women. Too scared to invite him in case we get rejected. But no, we've had a lot of female guests on ever since Carly pointed us in the right direction, and they've improved the quality of the show, I would say.
And I have to tell you, I did contact Danny Jackson. I think they'll all agree.
She's a presenter on RPG TV now.
I know, but before she said that, she told me that in July she thought she would be going freelance, and before she announced it, and she would have a go. But I don't know what the situation is between people that work on Racing Post TV and if they could come in here. But I suppose in a way, if she's freelance, it doesn't really matter because.
Well, we're not really a rival to RPG.
Craig's attached to Betfred, but he don't give a shit anyway. He comes on it.
Well, we couldn't really do what we're doing now without RPG TV, exactly. And I genuinely think we're pushing a lot of viewers to RPG TV.
Yeah,
so I think it's mutually beneficial. We obviously have a very different brand to RPG TV, but that's fine. Few comments in the chat that could get cancelled, so we won't read those out.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them.
Yeah, I just read that myself.
Don't read that out. Don't read that
out. Yeah, very good.
Keith Park, can't imagine when Tom asks a woman fancy putting on the internet, it doesn't attract more women. Yeah. Good point, well made.
I do have to say, I think Danny Jackson, as much as she is, I mean, she is such a good.
She's brilliant. She's genuinely brilliant.
Very, very good commentator. Yep. Very good. And I did imagine her, and there's a lad that works with her as well called Sam Norris at Hills, and he's a really good commentator. But there's a lot of good commentators. There's a lot of good commentators better than the Colonel.
You hate the Colonel, don't you?
I don't hate him. He's a nice lad.
Hate's a strong word, but you really don't like him.
Strong. No, it's not. Nothing to do with. No, he's a nice bloke, but he's not a good commentator. Doesn't make him a bad bloke if he can't commentate. But he can't commentate, and that's the end of it. As Tony wanted to tell you.
Fact 5 to place, chaps. Amaze me, Seb.
Mm-hmm.
He runs on strong to be
the best.
I think it's another nice race. You can make a case for a lot of the dogs here. Bubbly Bollinger's strong running. Le Bonite, I think we've not seen the best of. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Le Bonite win it. Infield Trojan obviously got very decent early pace when it wants to ping. Amaze Me Seb, decent strong running dog. So yeah, pretty open. And obviously, well, Scooby Prince got 29.51 on the card for 4.19 sectionals. So if we're taking the winning formula from a book, that would be would that be the winner of this? Oh, hang on, 29. No, there isn't the winning combination here, so it's a no bet race.
8-3 then. Favourite is in 3. And away and racing, and 4 bounces out the boxes. Headford Mike the stayer, but Infield Trojan trying to punch up on the inside and grabs the lead down for the connections up on the inside. It is infiltration. On for Tom Hellebron. He's around about 3 lengths clear, but Headford Mike does stay. He's 3 lengths in behind. Then comes Scooby Prince, who's looking to qualify as they spin up the last turn. Infield Trojan with a healthy lead. Infield Trojan goes on and runs away from his field in the end for the gets up for second, just in front of Headford Mike for third. Pay.
Craig, I will see you in court.
Palpable. I was worried out the box.
Get the IBAS form ready, lads. Craig. we've won enough to justify it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking a good 4 figures. we're talking a good 4 figures. Anyway.
Yeah, we've had a good result all around there, lads. We've had the winner. We've had the place. Oh.
Your boy in 2 minutes, Tom.
Oh yes.
Let's watch that one.
Let's see what the price is.
It looks like it's a free to Trap Free's 4.2 favourite on the machine. Yours is 5.9 at the moment. It's all very tight.
Oh, it's got to be worth a small
wager.
Yeah.
I think he's got as good a chance as any dog in the race. I had a good bet on him. I'll just take the chat off the thing so it doesn't confuse viewers watching back. The race he won 2 races ago, I had a very good bet on him. I managed to get it on in a local bookmaker's and was concerned they were going to call the police when I went in to collect. And I went in 2 days later and they said to me, "Have you come to bet on dogs?" I've only backed it at 7-4 as well. Yeah, right. Let's see how he goes. If I can get a live stream of it, I can. Oh, it's tiny. Right, that's okay. Often racing and Corten still with a bright start, but he's been out-trapped on the outside and won't be winning today. XV Prince goes round, followed by Romeo Cruz on the outside. Corten still on the rail back in third, but as they come off the final bend, XV Prince is leading away back to Romeo Cruz with Corten still running a decent pitch on the rail, but XV Prince wins.
He's run a good race there for not leading up.
He has, yeah. He's run all right. He just needed to be that little bit sharper to the bend, and he might have come second. I think he might.
I think he has.
It's hard to tell with the shit camera angle, but
True.
It could literally be anything. I mean, on the camera angle, he's 1.5 lengths in front. That probably means 5's in front of him. But they are changing the camera angle at Romford, which is tremendous news.
Well, let's see the camera first.
Well, that's supposedly up in the judges' box, isn't it? But they said
I think it's going to be nearer the first bend.
It used to be great, didn't it? The old layout and the camera angle was spot on.
Yeah.
Why change it so much?
It's even if the camera angle isn't perfect, but you know which side it favours. The problem is with that Romford one. One day it seems to favour. Well, one race it seems to favour the inside. You get a photo of the next one, and the outside's one.
Yeah.
You just can't make head or tail of it.
Yeah. I think he's run quite well. I think he's probably run one of his best recent times there, to the eye, but we'll see. Right, the lucky last, the 920. It's gone quick tonight, hasn't it? It's been a strange evening.
Some incredible results, Tom.
Yeah,
but enjoyable all the same. Bocco's belly.
Bocco's belly. It's a class animal, isn't he?
He's been breaking well as well each
Yeah.
round.
Yeah. Well, the 2's likely to lead up here, but it don't stay 500 meters. If he gets a pitch in behind it, it should be all over.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think me and PL both saw it similarly.
The only question is Dapper Rodney in 4 does have a ping every now and then.
Yeah.
And that could be but then again, I've never got Dapper Rodney right in my life.
Yeah.
So.
Just the one for me. I think it was Rodney at Romford. but I could be wrong. I've had a few whiskies and beers now. So.
Bit of half time from Romford Ryan, 4.6 foot run for 2 big specials last one. Yeah, I agree. I did fancy the 4 at the prices.
Yeah, Rodney is one of the dogs on my list. There is a list of dogs where it would probably been cheaper for me to buy them and retire them and keep betting them. And Rodney's probably on that list.
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I think anything approaching 2-1 is pretty good for Bocco's Belly, isn't it? That race, Sporting Chile obviously did the track record, but that was a bit of a
freak
run from a freak trap, and
it doesn't want 6 at all.
No. Yeah, it's just a quality operator, Bocco's Belly.
Hard to oppose him, but I'm not playing at 6-4. That's for sure. If that's the intended price.
Yeah, the fly in the ointment could be 5 at a massive price. It has a random ping every now and then.
Chum switch.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dog that the form doesn't really. You can look at the form doesn't make sense, and then it'll bang out and do something silly.
Yeah.
I really like the 1 Freedom Editor.
Mm-hmm.
I love this dog. Very, very lightly raced. I think had a lot of injuries, but absolutely embarrassed Bocco's Belly many a moon ago. Ran one more, but not produced it since, unfortunately. I just wonder if there's something there still under the bonnet to see a few wins in the future. You know.
That was January 21. That run where it back run Belly, and it's had 4 races since in almost 18 months.
Yeah, clearly a lot of injuries there, but so much talent in that dog early days in the puppy. It was a puppy comp, I think, wasn't it, when it against Bocco's Belly at Monmore?
It was
a back run it.
Yeah, it was a puppy race. Yeah, I'm just looking now. Yeah, crowded run up middle, led 4th, and Belly led at the first.
Yeah.
But then again, Belly now run. Hey, let's be honest. If Belly hits the front now, there's nothing coming from behind it, is there?
No.
PL.
I don't think so.
I've withdrawn. I've withdrawn the infiltration bit.
I think Paul's frozen face and said it all.
Shock. Yeah. PM, I did see these tweets. Regarding Bubbly Bunge's run, I had been tweeting Fluin when drunk, wondering why I stuck with Luftin Blancos, semi-attempts and great dogs, but Derby level. I did see those. They were increasingly aggressive tweets. and the sign of a man who had a good drink.
I'm not going to lie. I really enjoy the tweets that come from that account.
Yeah, he's great entertainment.
There was certainly a time where I couldn't figure out whether it was a parody account or not, but now I just enjoy the tweets for what they are.
Yeah, I agree.
I was just telling Lorena, went out to the kitchen there, Lorena, Tom, and I said to Lorena, you are just such a funny fella.
The drink helps.
Yeah, but you're still funny. You're still funny.
Thank you. I'll tell my wife that.
I'm sure she knows that. That's why she married you.
It's not for my looks.
It's just incredible. You're just such an I think that's why people tune in, because they know.
It could be for the young men we keep getting on.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, could be.
All the silver foxes, eh, Simon?
No comment.
No comment.
I think the young men is probably the right one.
Bocco's Belly's getting absolutely smashed.
Yeah,
wow.
Too short. Even money is a no-go for me on him.
No, I backed at 2.5. I really wanted 2.75, but the way it was going. But this is too short now.
I think I put him in a line bet at 7-4, but I couldn't bait him at this time. No.
No, I agree.
Not with Cody's Perriman going smash.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, tricky enough.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's one of those races where Sporting Chile could do a 4:10 sectional smash out. Yeah, it's all again.
He broke the clock, didn't he? Not that long ago.
Yeah.
Yep, he did for about 3 days.
Yeah, it feels like many moons. It feels about 4 clocks ago now, and that's something close.
It probably is, yeah. But we've said already though, right? Trap 6 doesn't suit Sporting Chile.
He's burgled a bit of 6 to 4. Look.
I've had a small bet on 2, just for the hell of it. See if they can lead. Might have a cover on Rodney in case he smashes out as well.
Yeah, if
I
Rodney
wouldn't be
goes,
playing any of the short prices here. No way.
I do think Bocco's Belly is the best dog in this race around Toaster over this trip.
Agreed. Yeah.
I mean, if you took Sporting Chile out of the race and swapped something else in, then I probably would be backing Bocco's Belly at 2.14. But I've just got the fear of Chile doing another smash out in what is a weaker race and what he's been used to racing in recently.
I just can't have Chile. Even that price still seems small. It was that one smash break. Watching it at Hove, it's a dog that it shows a bit of early, then seems to have a bit of a flat spot, and then it kind of comes again. And if it has that sort of flat spot here, it's going to be banging trouble.
Yeah. It was a one-off break as well, wasn't it? If you look at the sectionals that it did that night, where it broke the track record to since, it's like miles apart. So
yeah,
and again from Trap 6, really, I can't have it, to be honest.
Yeah. Floyd Amflet's had an absolute meltdown on Twitter tonight. So if you fancy tuning into that, that's quite good entertainment.
I've seen a few of the tweets.
Yeah.
I believe it started with that you. I believe it was a sarcastic tweet to do with not being able to break or win from 6, and people have bitten from there. From what I'd seen,
they have, yeah, with comments I think probably are justified in their response. I think Jack Bingham's put a pretty balanced response back. We've actually got Jack lined up to come on in the next few weeks.
I've blocked him, so I'll have to
unblock him to have a look. Just a quick sly unblock, reblock.
Good old Greyhound star.
You blocked Floyd Amflet?
Not my cup of tea. There's not many people I've blocked on that app ever, but just someone who grinds my gears.
I hide people rather than block them, because there are times you want to just have a quick little dip in without having to read their detritus day to day. So you've got the option to have a little peek when you want to, but it's not rammed down your throat.
I don't block anyone. I don't block anyone.
I'm seeing the word "what" in capitals quite a lot in the responses.
Yeah. He's probably gone for it. And that's what we like to see on a Friday night. People who've obviously had an evening and are putting their opinions out there in contrary to other people's opinions.
Yeah, Sam, kindly send me these screenshots, please. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll screenshot them to you in a minute. I'll screenshot them in the group so Adrian can see them. He'll reply to them about 4:00 Monday.
Yeah, good. After a siesta.
Siesta. It is astonishing that a young man from Spain is so heavily involved in greyhound racing in this country, and a part of our sort of little scene of young people in greyhound racing. I mean, if one of us got heavily into bullfighting and went over to Spain, do you think we'd be treated with the same level of acceptance?
Maybe. A rare nuance.
They're going in anyway for the last heat and the last race of the day. Freedom Editor in 1. Goldie's Perryman in 2. Rocco's Belly in 3. Dapper Rodney in 4. And Chum Switch in 5. Sporting Chili in 6. Hare's running. Off and racing. And as they reach the first turn, it's Chum Switch that's going to go around in front from 2. Goldie's Perryman just run over the back of the leader there and down the far side. Chum Switch has gone on 2 lengths clear from Goldie's Perryman, who's trying to renew his effort into the third turn ahead of 6 Sporting Chili, who's staying on. Then in behind these comes Freedom Editor as they come off the last turn. It's 5. Chum Switch still with the lead, but here comes 6 to challenge late and fast up towards the line. Got there, Sporting Chili right in the jam stick to win it from Chum Switch.
Oof.
And
no comment after saying it can't possibly win.
Yeah, we've made a few bold comments, and I'm a big fan of bold comments, but we have got them horribly wrong, race after race tonight.
Hey, I'd much rather than be on record. If you're gonna make a bold claim, at least let it be on record.
Is the draw tonight?
I assume it must be
Craig
because
Days, are you saying live for the draw? So I assume so. A few people tweeted me today.
yeah, because I know last week it was live, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Should we hang on for it?
Yeah,
I'm happy to if you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if we can. So after a tremendous, so we've showed enormous early pace tonight, but we've badly faded on the run in and showing a very slight loss for the evening. So if anyone fancies delving into Monmore or Romford or anywhere else, then let us know. Let us know in the chat, because we get out of trouble on this show responsibly. 9:30 the draw. Apparently, we can wait 8 minutes. That's all right, isn't it, boys?
as well as Crayford as well, by the way.
No, let's not go that far, PL.
I have to say, he was disappointing there, Belly.
He was. Well, it's a very poor start, and he needed to get a bit of a break. I think he missed it. Everything tracked quite well,
but he just didn't show any zip.
No, he didn't. But there's some decent dogs in the race.
Then he didn't last week, and I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah, that's the Derby tipping comp. That's Ed gone, and he was my pick in the plate. So I think that's me finished. Might just not even enter anymore. Just give up on the competition I'm administering.
I went Belly as well, so
Belly.
And Sally anti-post in the other.
I was on Sally. I think it was Sally and Tom, my two anti-posts. So they both went in quick succession.
Sam, you look like a freeze frame from. Oh, you've just changed that. You look like a freeze frame from like a video where someone gets snatched. Last CCTV image before he's stolen.
Yeah, the lighting in here is not great. I'm not going to lie.
That's all right.
But yeah, we've got a few minutes to kill. Go back to our Spaniard friend. When I told people that there was a man from Spain messaging me about greyhounds on Twitter, I certainly got some funny looks.
Mm-hmm.
And he agreed to come over to Hove one night. It was February time or whatever, like six months after, talking about the dogs and whatnot, and telling them I'm going to meet a random Spanish man at the station to take him to Hove greyhounds. Got the reactions you expect.
I can well imagine. Especially in the Brighton area.
Yeah. It snows once in a blue moon down here because we're protected by the downs. The 24 hours Adrian is here, it was blizzard-like conditions. I don't think Adrian had ever seen snow living in Spain, and told him he's not allowed back to Hove ever again. Never seen weather like it.
No, I can imagine. He's a great lad. I met him at Romford with Simon on the. I think it was the reopening of Romford on the other side.
Yeah.
And I plummeted through the crash barrier, if you remember that, to go and place it at the bottom. It wasn't well fixed.
No.
Yeah, I believe that night I wasn't there, but Adrian was calling me from Romford asking where Simon was. I was only 70, 80 miles away. It wasn't like I could locate Simon in the middle of Romford Stadium.
He's very good at going missing when it's his round.
You can't pay him pesetas anymore. That's the problem.
That's it.
I made that joke to him once in mine, his and Si's WhatsApp group. He didn't quite understand the joke and started telling us, "No, we have euros now. We've now got it that he."
It is his second language, English. Like, let's give him his dues.
His English is incredible.
It is, yeah.
It's when you get voice notes after a race when the dog's been chinned. He's learned those aggressive words very well, very fluent in them.
Absolutely. Paul Watmore here. First time I met Adrian, he travelled from Yarmouth to Spain. I think that he's on my journey from Borough. Yeah, you're probably right.
I can confirm that, yeah, for sure. He left Spain at the same time I left Worthing to go to Yarmouth for Ridgedale Max in one of the Yarmouth finals. We left the door at the same time. I went up by train. He got to Yarmouth before me, and he started in the middle of Spain.
Yeah. It's the weirdest place to get. I'm probably about 60 miles away from there. My wife was selling her car, and she filled up with some dodgy petrol. And she went to the garage, and they said, "You've basically got to like burn the petrol off." I don't know why I didn't siphon it, but I wasn't there to ask. They said, "Just drive it around to use up the petrol and top it back up." And for some astonishing reason, she drove to Great Yarmouth and back. She got back like 7 hours later, and she'd used less than a quarter of a tank. So why didn't you just go on the M25? Oh God. It's gone like 35 miles an hour average speed. 4 hours. Oh dear. Right. What have we got left racing tonight? I don't think there's any more open races, are there?
No, I think there was some at Monmore, but they down.
Carol Weatherall had a winner. There is racing at Yarmouth.
Where is the draw? Is it on Toasters or Stars?
Star have been doing it from the track, so I assume they're going to do it on there.
Oh, yeah, I've just seen Weatherall's winner at Yarmouth, Nipsey Hussle, 4:36 split, 28:14.
Wow.
That's some time.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a decent dog, that.
Yeah, I felt really sorry for them. What was the comp at Crayford? The dog, it got pulled out in the final, and it had been running out of its skin. It deserved to win a final, and
Yeah, I've had some bad luck. So how did you get involved with Nathan Hunt, Sam?
Adrian again.
Was it?
Good or bad Greyhound decisions for me and Si. Most of them are going to come via Adrian. No, so obviously the first dog me and Si got was Geordie Boy that was with Adrian, but Adrian was already part of it when it was at Romford under Nathan. The rest of them wanted to sell it from Romford because it wasn't really running the track. Adrian wanted to move it to Monmore. He wanted to stay involved, and he lined up a gullible Englishman and a Welshman. There's definitely a
sounds
joke.
like the start of a joke. Yeah,
it does. An Englishman, a Welshman, and a Spanishman. Yeah. But yeah, and yeah, it went from there. And as I say, keep saying no more dogs. Got enough dogs, and then last week bought another dog, and Adrian said no. I've never known Adrian to say no. And then it ran at Shelbourne Park last night, and started messaging going, "Am I too late to join in on that dog?"
Oh, really?
So
what time did it do?
It was it's called Maglas Brave. It stepped up over 6 bends first time last night. It did 42.03. It
Mm-hmm.
lost ahead to Tall Maker Beach.
Oh wow! Yeah.
He flew to the drop as well. Rob from Nathan's Kennelwood bought it, and yeah, he looks very exciting. We weren't quite sure what he was, but certainly looks like six bends is going to be his future.
Very good. It's hard when you get into the game knowing about buying dogs and the best way to do it and what dogs cost. There is no guide at all. And if you use Greyhound data as your guide, then you're in big trouble because there's just some mad prices on there. What would you say would be the best way to buy your first dog?
Tough question, but some of the lessons I've learned over the years is be very careful who you go with, and bear in mind that be that individuals who you join a syndicate with or trainer that you choose. Always get feedback from other people that have had dogs with that trainer, and the people that you're intending to. Sorry, Wales have just scored, so my mates are I've missed the goal. Be very careful who you go with, who the trainer is, because the problem is if you get stuck, say you get a bit of a world beater of a dog, or a sister or brother of a world beater, you're going to want to breed from that dog. So if you're stuck in a relationship you don't want to be in, then that could be painful going forward because you're stuck in that relationship. So get feedback from other people who you know within the game.
I just ask people on Twitter and stuff, and we get I get the odd message, and Greyhound Watchalong gets the odd message from people saying, "What's the best way to buy a dog? Who's a good breeder and stuff?" Someone sent us a dog that they'd found on Greyhound data. It was about $6,000, and from looking at the profile of it, I'd made a similar mistake in terms of buying a dog from a certain track with a flashy sprint time. And I said to him, for the money you're looking to spend, do not buy that dog. Go to the likes of Sean Conway, who will get you a decent minor open dog and do you right if it doesn't work out. And it's finding those people to trust. And I've spent with a few people. I spent $10,000 on a dog before, and he's been like an A3 dog. Based off one flashy trial. And
it's tough because especially buying them off one or two races, some dogs are going to come on a bundle, some are not going to come on at all. Since some pups where they do a flashy debut run and that's the best time that they ever do. It's just luck of the draw with some of it, and that
and getting your eye in eventually, because you'll notice a dog will not perform at a certain track. So, for instance, you got Newcastle. We had Drippy's Flight from. We could see he wasn't getting 480 at the time, so we thought, well, let's buy him. We'll move him to Romford. And at that time, he was flying out with the tins at Newcastle, and you could see he was going to do better at Romford. With Scala O'Mara, he flew out of the traps in the Kirby, but he didn't get the trip. It's just noticing those simple things, but it takes maybe a bit of experience, a bit of knowledge eventually to get the hang of it and know what you're looking for.
I think it comes back to the same as with as PL said about the betting videos. Videos are extremely helpful. A time on a card, again, absolutely wonderful, but seeing the dog run or seeing how it run can also help massively.
I think you have to look at probably when you say, especially in Ireland, you have to look at what that time is in respect to the rest of the card. So I remember when we were looking for a Friday night Romford dog, and I was looking at sort of.
We're here for the draw. couple of quid on the 4 at Romford here.
Just had to look at short, isn't it?
Just watch that in the background. Yeah, but it's 3 lengths quicker than anything else in the race. Savannah Bow first out. Gets the red box again. Let's go in 2. Probably rather be a little bit further off. Kildare in 3. That's not a well. I don't know. No, it's got the ping box, hasn't it?
I'd take Magico in,
It's in 2. Yeah.
with the Bow in 1.
Frankie in 3.
Where's this being streamed, Tom? For those
It's on RPG TV.
Yeah, I've got it on Sporty Stuff on the phone.
Okay.
Beating a photo, Tom.
Yep. Or has it? I don't know. Might have got up.
Nah. Can have evens if you want with me.
The Toro in 5. Goofy in 5. So we've got Savannah Bow, Romeo Majiko, Dealish Frankie, Mickey's Barrett, Silent Goofy, Foreign Rebel in Heat 1, Hello Hammond, Kildare, Make Noise, Coppice Fox, Lataro, and Priceless Jet in Heat 2. What's our most likely final after that? Probably Silent Goofy, Romeo Majiko, Savannah Bow in 1, and then Kildare, Lataro, Priceless Jet in 2, something like that.
Oh, come on. We're cheering on Hammond. Hammond ain't out the top 3. Run for a wall.
Yeah, I have to agree. As long as Magico gets the final, lads, anyway, that's all we want.
Yeah, Kildare has got a cracking chance to lead in that second semi. There isn't a massive amount of early, is there, really?
No. It's quite a weak semi-final, isn't it, for a derby?
Yeah.
It's not
Probably.
the derby semi-final we thought it would be.
No. Looking at it, other than Goofy, there isn't masses of early. A lot of the dogs with early, like Ace and whatnot, have gone out tonight, haven't they? Obviously, it'd be great if Rebel made the final. The story of a veteran making the final would be a lovely story.
Yeah, especially after the injuries. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah. Well, when Dave Mitchell put up the tweet and mentioned it was the 1 year to the day, I didn't read the date on it and just saw Form Rebel out the derby and almost had a heart attack.
Dave will be hoping Rebel wins it and he gets the Tavati sales through the roof.
Yeah, absolutely.
Loving it.
Yeah.
Right, I think that's it for the evening. Thank you, gents. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming on. You've been excellent guests.
Thank you. Really enjoyed it.
Cheers,
Goes quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, thanks,
It does.
Dan.
Bye.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, and we'll be back next Saturday.
Ta-da.
Cheers all.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Bye.
Bye.